Jim Norton and Sam Roberts.
What's going on, Bobcat?
Oh, good morning. What is going on, guys? Sorry, hi, guys.
Now, they were telling me now, I said, I'm happy that Bob is coming in. And they're like, you got to call him Bobcat. Which do you prefer?
I like Bobcat, but Bob's fine.
Okay.
See, I tried to tell you, Jim.
You did.
Prefers Bobcat. It says on the show.
Well, look, if I suddenly wanted to be known as Bob, I would go, what a douche. You know? It'd be like when, Ricky Schroeder.
Rick Schroeder.
Rick, yeah.
Who else did that where they changed their name in adulthood to a shorter name besides Rick Schroeder?
Rick Schroeder is the one
guy?
that I think there have been other people. Rick Schroeder is the one that I feel like everybody points out, which I feel like is kind of the opposite of what you intend to happen, right? All it does is put more attention on the fact that you used to be Ricky Schroeder.
Oh, it was Prince.
Now you had we were talking about we watched your first Letterman before.
Oh,
we were watching just a minute before the show. Do you like watching yourself old stuff? I can't watch myself.
I can't at all.
No,
at all. Especially by the nature. Like I did see a little bit of that clip recently, and I'm truly. I'm not saying anything. It's like it's like A-I-O-U, sometimes Y. It's just like, so I know what I was doing, but it's still kind of embarrassing.
I can't watch old stuff. It's humiliating in a weird way. It's an exposing, humiliating feeling.
But there are guys who go, yes.
Yeah, they're autistic. Anyone that can just sit there and watch themselves has Asperger's.
I did it again. No, we were just talking. I just did Kimmel, and the thing is now it's like you do the show, and that's not the thing. It's the clip that they make out of that appearance.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And I told a story that Jimmy didn't know was years ago. At New Year's, he had a brownie and fell asleep probably before 10. And we're all at his house for the New Year's Eve party, and Jimmy's just asleep. And it was just weird, hey, all right. So I went and recently I'd moved and I found an Instamatic camera and I had it developed, and there's just 3 pictures from that party and then everything else is blank. And what I remembered is once he fell asleep, I went and teabagged everything in his kitchen and took pictures of my nuts like in his creamer, everything in his kitchen. And
did you hit every egg cup in the fridge?
It's a little thing called professionalism. No, but so that's the story they're running with. Are they plugging the new show? No, that's the thing that's out there. Me teabagging Kimmel's kitchen. But you don't tell the guy before you go on. You don't tell the segment producer.
No.
Yes.
Yeah, so I'm going to tell a story about Jimmy me teabagging his cutlery.
He's like, what else you got?
How do you go from, because you were pretty notorious for a while for your late show appearances when you're setting Jay Leno's chairs on fire and trashing Arsenio's set.
Arsenio's show is way worse. And I had, in my mind, again, I don't watch old clips. I was on a show and my friend played it and I was like, wow, that was really violent. I mean,
when you're doing the Arsenio thing?
Yeah,
because Arsenio is like, I watched the clip last night, Arsenio is like
wrestling me,
physically holding you back, and not like in a friends way.
So he got fired because he got fired basically because they put the Chevy Chase show on in front of him.
Good
Do you
call.
think Farrakhan people say because he had Farrakhan on, that was why they eventually got rid of him? Do you think that had anything to do with it?
Oh, that's it. I think it was because the syndication deal was you had to put Chevy in front of him, and so it just his ratings dropped off.
Oh, yeah.
And it was that ratings juggernaut Chevy Chase.
Yeah, he had a tough time.
Yeah, being kind.
Yeah,
he did. He had a tough run of it.
Yeah, it wasn't what they hoped for.
I try not to. I try not to bash people, but something about Chevy's really hard not to.
No, he sucks. He's
no,
crazy.
but you feel. I don't know. He's so unhappy. So,
well, didn't he? He's known for being on the set of Community, called Donald Glover the N-word.
Oh my God!
Did he really?
Yeah, it was like a thing.
Hindsight, being what it is, probably not the right guy to make an enemy out of Donald Glover.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, that whole song is based on Chevy. This is
this is Chase. So Arsenio, he got dumped by Paramount, and I spray painted Paramount Sucks on the backdrop. And then I spray painted Paramount Sucks on the backdrop of the set, and then I threw the cushions of the couch into the audience, and then I put my Doc Martens. I smashed this $3,000 monitor.
You're like tipping over this stuff.
I smashed it, and then I smashed the back of it, and
wow.
And then he's wrestling me, but he does get me like in kind of a hold. But then just as we're going to commercial, he goes, "Thanks, man."
Whoa!
So I was like, oh, so there's no rules.
So he knew that was going to look good.
Wow. I mean, at one point they get like a legit, and you could tell it's not a prop security guard. It's a real security guard. Real security guard is on stage, and Bobcat is just sitting there like trying to steal his walkie-talkie off of his belt. And, like,
can we see this?
And then he goes like this. He goes, he's not going to do shit. We're on video.
Wow.
Oh, really?
That's
wow.
what you said.
Well,
Were you high when you did this stuff?
No, that's the thing. Most people think that was the beauty of just a good dry drunk. That's just pure rage.
Yeah.
And it's like you could dissect it like, oh, whoa, he was taking it to the next level. It's like, no, I was just fucking up shit. I was just like, I'm gonna go out there. I kind of would a little bit premeditate, like, you can't you have a can of spray paint just appear. So that's why I got the arson charge on
Arsenio.
Lano. No, on Lano I got arson because it was premeditated because I brought lighter fluid with me.
Wow. Yeah,
and
on Lano, you brought you literally just got up off the chair and you set it on fire.
Well, but also I had lighter fluid in my pants, so I opened it up, and while I'm doing panel, he's like, "So what's going on?" And I'm with my ass, I'm soaking the chair. I'm multitasking. No one ever talks about that. So,
so you're doing it while you're sitting in it. So you had lighter fluid on your pants too.
And I open it up and I'm squirting it out of my back
purpose.
pocket. Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing.
I was soaking the chair.
Balls.
That's MacGyver.
That's well, it was MacGyver because I had the lighter taped into my arm.
Wow.
So
That's
all
badass.
this ends up being.
How are you not afraid of burning? Like just like striking a match or lighting it and catching on yourself.
Yeah, I didn't. Yeah, I should have thought about that now.
That's good TV
No,
too.
he used like one of those like cooking like barbecue lighters, like the long one.
But Tim's got a good point. My pants were soaked.
Yeah.
My ass could have easily
burning
gone
your
up.
asshole on national television.
That would have been pretty good.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I would have been scooting around like a dog trying to wipe its ass on a rug.
You can see it, Troy. If the only clip that I found really
It's really
good
hard
is
to find that.
Oh, if you look at the opening of Larry Sanders, where they reference it, you can see the clip because they watch it.
It's like 3 seconds. Yeah, because NBC just pulled all the clips
they did?
of me setting the Tonight Show on fire. But then it was on.
That's awesome.
But
it was so Jay was like, what happened over on Arsenio, and I was like, well, it worked. I'm here. And that's where Jay got mad, actually, because I said that it worked.
Yeah.
He
didn't get mad that you lit his set on fire?
I think he was mad about that, too.
Yeah.
And then you actually sat on it and did the panel.
Well, because he was forcing me. He's like, sit down. No, you sit here.
Yeah. He tried to squat so his feet were on the chair, and Jay was literally like grabbing him by the ankles. You have to sit in it now. You have to sit in it. Now, I had to go to court.
Oh.
Which was funny-ish because my attorney, she meets me on the stairs. And I just think go in and plead guilty.
Because that's on TV. I did.
Yeah, that's what I mean. She's like, plead not. I saw the footage. I'm pretty sure it's me. There's a third arsonist in the grassy knoll or whatever. But yeah, so I go in, and then I had to do these commercials, public safety announcements, and
you got a gig out of it.
Yeah, so it was good. I made dental that year. No, but it was like, it's really embarrassing. I'll do it for you. It's really embarrassing. It was. I had to go. And I never do this. All right, but I had to go. Hi, I'm Bobcat Goldthwait. I can switch back and forth, but if you're seriously injured, I just got shit chills doing that.
Why? That's really inspirational.
You had to sit there and separate the man from the character.
Yeah,
to teach fire safety.
Yeah, and then I had to refilm it a couple days later because the Burbank fire marshal didn't like it.
Oh, he didn't like it.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe he wants to direct. It's like
he had notes.
Yeah.
Whose premise was who comes to you with that premise and says, no, this is what you have to do?
Yeah, it was through the Burbank Fire Department. It was their thing, and they had to accept it. And it was like, you're just phoning it in. I need a 10. You're giving me an 8. So I had to refilm it.
The court probably stipulated that they have to sign off on whatever the fire safety message is.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So you at one point in your career, though, you were directing for Kimmel, right?
Yeah, I directed Kimmel for 3 years.
So how do you go from being developing a reputation for destroying late night shows to being would you like to hire me as the director of your late night show?
I mean, that was all Kimmel. Also, ABC, they never mentioned that. Hey, the guy who's not allowed on the other shows? Yeah, that's driving. He's
we
driving
set one
the
of them on
bus.
fire, and the other one, he spray painted.
I was like Black Ops. I was going out trying to destroy the other shows.
It's like Delta hiring ISIS.
So that's all Kimmel. I directed a lot of segments and stuff on the Man Show, and Jimmy wanted me to direct that show, and I went in and looked, and he said, "What do you think?" I said, "Well, I think I can make it a little funnier, but it's like landing a plane in Chinese, It's so."
They can't drive.
I learned terrible TV directors. It turns out. No. So then, and I was directing it when it was live.
Wow.
Oh, he was going out live for how long did he do that?
It started live, and then there was it just kept going. Like it was like a 7-second delay and then a 14-second. Then it was just different. But I've told this story before, but it's a true story. Was I'm not even being cute. The band everyone everyone hates is
Nickelback?
Yeah, okay, yeah. And when they were on, they might be nice guys, but their manager came into the booth and he's like, "Who's the director?" I go, "I am." And he's like, "Don't shoot Chad profile, only shoot him straight on." And I'm like, "Who's Chad?" He's like, "Our lead singer." I go, "Well, why can't I shoot him from the side?" They go, "Because he has a big nose." And I was like, "Okay, I won't shoot Chad profile." And the cameramen are listening to the conversation, and they're all guys, pussy, because he could hear me talking to the director. to the guy saying, talking to the manager saying that I wouldn't shoot it that way. So second song, on Kimmel, the second song, the show goes off the air. And so during that, I said to the assistant director, I go, "Tell me when I have 10 seconds left." She goes, "Okay." So they're doing their song. She goes, 10 seconds. And I go, "Shoot the nose." And six out of the 7 cameras snap zoom in on this guy's nose. And I made a nose. This is a true story. I made a nose montage. Camera 5, camera 7, 1, 3, 2, 6, 4. We're off the air. And and the crew's now in the headset going, "Hey, man, what are we going to do now?" And I go, "I'm getting in my car." Usually I'd do it "Hey, Jim, great show." And I just walked out the back door.
So when you're going to make a decision like that, do you run that by Kimmel? Or
No.
is it just no, I trust you to do your thing?
I just would do that kind of stuff. And that was the kind of thing Jimmy and I had going, where, sometimes stuff would pan out and sometimes it would.
But he would probably love that.
Yeah, later on he would laugh really hard at that. But, we would do a lot of, it was, I loved working on the show. It was really fun doing the show.
That's amazing.
And you got rid of, you got rid of the character that you were doing in Zanies. You were on stage.
Yeah, I remember it.
What happened?
I went back on the road after doing Kimmel, and I thought I hated stand-up, but I didn't. I thought it was like I hated being on the road, and it doesn't even exist that. But 10, 15 years ago, it was doing all the wacky morning shows. It was brutal. Painting Teabag in South Bend. And you're like, you guys are dangerous. Ooh.
Yeah.
So it was horrible. It's awful. It was horrible. Yeah. So. But it turned out I just hated doing this character, and it wasn't even hated. It was just So I made a decision that I can't go on there. I gotta be me. No, but I have to go on and be myself. And
was it worse doing the morning shows and stuff because you had to do the character for them?
At 7 o'clock in the morning, you have to gear up.
Yeah, it's just. It was just, I'm sure you do this too. Like you come in and you're like, "Hi," and they're worried that you're not going to be on and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, it was, It was exhausting.
When they're going from your Wikipedia, but I don't expect a guy to be a Jim Norton expert. But when they're like, so you're from Bayonne, where the fuck do you want me to go with that? How is that comedy fodder?
Yeah.
Yes, I am.
I'm gonna do my Bayonne chunk.
Yeah, it's a great 5 minutes of Bayonne. No one cares. So it's hard if you have to be in character.
Yeah. So I stopped doing it, and then, but at the same time, I was directing. You know, I did a lot of directing folks aren't aware of. Like, I worked on Chappelle's show. I worked on, I just did a lot of stuff behind the scenes. And then I made, while I was at Kimmel, I shot this movie for $20,000 with a crew from Craigslist that was, and it got into Sundance, and it was.
Oh wow!
Which movie was it?
It's called Sleeping Dogs Lie. It's called Stay. It's a rom-com with a tiny bit of bestiality in it, just a tasteful amount.
Yeah.
But
40 minutes.
but I got it. It was in Sundance. It was crazy. So when I got the call, I really thought it was Jimmy's. His cousin Sal, because Sal's the king of messing with people. But it was really Sundance. I was like, hey, this is Trevor Gross from Sundance, and your movie got in. I go, okay, Trevor, can I call you back? Like, I really thought it was Sal upstairs calling me. And he's like, yeah? And then I realized it was, I go, oh my God. So the movie got in.
So you're just one of those like eccentric paranoid weirdos. Like, I'm going to call you back to have this conversation.
No, you don't know. Sal is like, Sal, if you're eating pizza or a box of pizza, he's got to knock it. I was watching Sal walked across the set, and you just see Jimmy cover his nuts. Not out of comedy, just because Sal's going to hit you in the nuts. I mean, it's like Pavlovian. And like Sal, there's no one who's just, there was a producer on the show. He would just take the guy's phone and put it in a glass of water. like he'd have to. He cannot do that.
He just famous Jeff Ross prank.
What did he do?
He called Jeff Ross and told him he won Dancing with the Stars. And Jeff Ross was like, oh my God. And then he didn't, obviously. He got on the show.
Yeah.
And they're like, you lost. And he cried or something.
And if your email's open, he's always writing.
Yeah.
This is the most unprofessional place. This is my 2 weeks notice. Tell him Sal can't. It's like a weird, he cannot. So.
I have a respect for people that will prank with things that you can't take back. Like, you know what I mean? Like the I quit emails or putting your phone in water. It's like, now my phone's ruined. Like, the joke's over, my phone's still ruined. Well, what are you doing?
And sometimes, like, we would team up on things. There was a bit that would be a celebrity was in a box on Hollywood Boulevard, and then people come up and ask 3 questions and then try to guess who's in the box. And I don't know. I was like, Sal, I'm not into this. And he's like, yeah. They make Sal grab the people off the street. And I go, let's try to kill it. And so he's got a new contestant. And this is when we're live. And Jimmy goes, who do you have with you? And he goes, oh, it's Barry Williams. And he goes, and then I have the confetti cannons and the box opens up, and Jimmy wants to just kill both of us. I remember on my last show directing, I was like, I put a bunch of footage during the monologue, just me sitting in the audience eating a sandwich. So like after a joke, if it didn't land, I just cut to this pre-tape of me eating, looking up. But then during the commercial break, I used to wear like skirts and kilts, or I just dressed like a nut. So I wouldn't take myself serious, Like if you're in a sombrero and you're yelling at people, you are a douche. You know what I mean? Right. So if it's like, let's not forget who's wearing the Pope's mitre today. So just to keep myself in check, I'd always dress like an idiot.
Did it feel good to wear a skirt? I mean, Ed Wood was.
God, yeah.
That's comfortable, right?
Oh, it's really comfortable. So in the break, I come running down.
You thinking about it, Jim?
But it sounds amazing.
It's very freeing. It's really, and people want their brains. Oh, you got a kilt on? I go, nah. This is just a
plaid skirt.
Some fat Catholic girl's skirt.
I got this at Lane Bryant, actually.
Yeah.
This is
I'm hard.
So during the commercial, I run down and Jimmy's doing his notes and I just put my junk on his desk and lift up my skirt and I go, Jimmy. And he looks up. I go, what do you think? Does this look normal? And then I run back into the booth. And it's like 3, 2, 1, and Jimmy's just staring blankly and going, and we're back.
See, this is why you shouldn't have women in a writer's room.
But Sal's tenacious. I think the most elaborate prank I did when I was on Kimmel was with Super Dave, Bob, Einstein. So he came on the show. I never told this story publicly. He could be a bit of a curmudgeon. I like him a lot, but I was like, who was on the show? You can't remember who's even on because it's such a grind. It's like this. I'm sure you leave like, who did we have on? So Andy Dick was on the night before. So I had them buy a TV and gift wrap it, and I half unwrapped it, and I put a card, and it said, "Dear Andy, killed it again. Love the Kimmel Show." And I go, now put this in Dave's dressing room. he's so wound up. Who the fuck is Andy? Who was Andy that was on the show last night that got a TV? I've been on 14 times. He's just screaming. They go, it was Andy Dick. Andy Dick, name one funny thing Andy Dick has ever done. Like he's just so they go, he's really mad. I go, okay. I go, put him out, get him out of that dressing room. And there was this tiny dressing room that had been a closet that we had put in when there's too many guests. I go, put him in the closet dressing room, and then he's on the phone yelling to his wife, "They gave Andy Dick a TV." And there's a knock on the door, and it was just a little tiny box, and it was a Jimmy Kimmel Live baseball cap, and it said, and I wrote, "Dear guest, thanks for being on the show."
You got to talk about the biggest prank of all time, Windy City Heat.
Windy City Heat, yeah.
What about, have you seen that?
No.
It's one of the funniest movies of all time.
I've seen parts of it, but I've never seen the entire movie.
Unbelievable.
It's on YouTube. The controversial director's cut. Yeah, that was. I directed it, but I can't take credit because it was a sum of a lot of people's work and engineering. I mean, I'm by the time we made Windy City Heat, Mole and Don had been doing that for 11 years.
Yeah. Basically, they pranked this guy, Scary Perry.
Yeah.
And they made a movie about the prank. He thinks he's in a real movie, but the whole movie is just a prank that he thinks he's actually starring in a Hollywood film.
I'm a lot like Robert De Niro. My looks, my attitude. Yeah.
So the punchline is just this thing comes out and it's just kind of exposing that this guy thought it was in a real movie?
No,
They
it's
never break
nuttier
it.
than that. You have to see it.
It's got levels, layers.
It's like, yeah. So Perry brought a condom to the set for the love scene. And and then I yell cut and I bring in a stunt guy who weighs about 80 pounds more than him. That guy doesn't even look like me.
You got to see it. You got to see it.
I
Unreal.
will. I was watching the first episode of the new show of Misfits and Monsters.
Misfits and Monsters.
With Seth Green.
When I first heard about it, I was like, this is as big as like Black Mirror is on Netflix. I was like, man, to do
an anthology show.
An anthology show, I'm like, that's ballsy. But I watched the first episode and I loved it.
Oh, thanks, man.
And I'm sure I'm not the first person that's asked this, but the premise of the first episode, and an anthology show, it's like it's genre goes through different genres and different topics every time. But the idea is it's a voiceover guy, and the cartoon character that he voices is haunting him and following him, and it gets,
Bubba the Bear.
The Bear.
It's like Cape Fear and Roger Rabbit.
Right, combined.
Where it's like, well, why you gotta make me sound stupid? That's something funny for kids to laugh at. A stutter. That's that. He goes, that's a tradition. Porky Pig, Donald Duck, Hugh Grant. He's like, well. He goes, he's going to send him straight to hell. He hates Bubba the Bear hates the guy who does his voice, and he tries to kill him.
And it's great. It's violent.
It's very violent.
I didn't know that it was, I thought it was an episodic thing. Like, I had no idea that it was only one story contained.
Yeah.
So
Which is
there's
awesome.
something that happens, I'm like, holy fuck, that's the first episode. And then it made sense at the end.
That's where they're...
I'm like, they just ruined the series. What's he doing?
They're 20 minutes in. That's where
There's
they're
nowhere
at.
to go with this.
Our protagonist can't talk anymore. So,
But what I was going to ask, is it like based on you and your...
Well, I thought it was...
Is it based on a true story?
I thought it was a little bit based on my friend Tom Kenny, who I've known since I was 6, who's the voice of SpongeBob and stuff. But then I didn't realize it. My daughter pointed out, she's my costume designer. She's like, this is about you, dummy.
That's what I kind of thought.
She really did. She was like, you really think this is not about you? It's about this character that you can't escape? And I was like, oh, yeah. But I think I'm actually the bear. Because at the end, the bear's got Seth by the neck, and he goes, "I was a bear, God damn it, and you made me in some kind of joke." And I'm like, it could be, I was a comedian, and you made me in some kind of a joke. But yeah, they're all different. You know, the one that airs tonight on True TV at 10 o'clock is it's David Koechner plays a used car salesman in the 70s, like a guy who does his own commercials, one of those kind of guys, and they run him for president, and he's like, this campaign manager says, "Is there anything we should know about you? I cheated on my first wife." "Well, that's what first wives are for. Ha ha ha. Anything else?" "Oh yeah, I'm a werewolf." And he's like, "What?" He goes, "Don't worry about it." He goes, "Anything else?" "Yeah, I ate a toddler once, but that was when I was a werewolf." "Well, no one's perfect." So they run this guy as a political candidate, and there's a cub reporter trying to break the story, and I don't want to ruin it for people, but yeah.
It's just so great.
Interesting idea for a show. Isn't it great too that not being married for the like you could just switch story to story. You're not going to get bored of characters.
Yeah, I think I hope that's what it's just. You wonder if folks are going to turn. I hope people like the show and keep going, because the nature of anthology shows, there's shows that you're going to watch and go, "Well, I didn't like that one." You're like, I love Black Mirror, but some episodes don't click for me as much as some of the other ones.
But the order doesn't matter. You can just go back and watch them. You don't have to watch season 1 to enjoy season 2.
Yeah, definitely. And then they're all over the place. I mean, there's like one's like I wanted to do a Jerry Lewis movie, and it's set in Dealey Plaza. It's Jerry Lewis, the Kennedy assassination. Yeah. The nutty assassin, basically. And,
Duck!
Yeah. So yeah, and
so did the episode that's airing tonight, did it really just start with like watching, one of these hysterical people on the news going like, "This monster is our president," and you go like, what if the president actually was a monster?
Yeah, it was. That was the germ of it. It's funny. It's like some of the stuff I get on, there was like, and I did a movie called God Bless America, and in a fantasy scene. Thanks. We shot a baby, but there's a scene in, I shouldn't say this, but there's a scene in that Jerry Lewis episode with Josh Fadem where I was like, I think someone should probably tell me no. It was like it's a time traveling episode, and he gets to see the alternative reality. Truman gets assassinated, and we had a Nazi occupied U.S. and he's watching these clips, and there's there's a kid. It's just like, well, there's Full House, HAUS, so it's just Full House, a brown shirt cast, and then there's like the Sesame Street, which was, Zig Heil, John, Zig Heil, Strudel Monster, A is for Adolf. And I got this little tiny boy, who's about 4, in lederhosen and blonde-haired kids singing A is for Adolf. And he got shy, and the whole crew and cast is like, "Come on, A is for Adolf." Yeah, B is for Blitzkrieg. And the mother goes, "You know what a Blitzkrieg is? Come on."
Just waiting for people to stop you.
Yeah, that was one where I was like looking around and go, "All right, I guess we're doing this."
Did you ever see? And again, a few people have seen the Jerry Lewis movie where he plays the Nazi.
The day the clown died.
Have you actually seen the film?
No. It's really hard to see.
Yeah,
because he owned it, and I think there's like, even you can't see it complete. I feel like there's a reel missing. But no, I've never seen that.
Somebody who saw that.
Nobody, I don't know.
Somebody did see it recently. I've seen the whole thing.
There was footage that came out of it.
No, but somebody saw it. I don't remember who it was. Somebody known.
Come on, who was in Spinal Tap?
Harry Shearer.
Harry Shearer, yeah. Harry Shearer, I think watched it. I don't know.
The Day the Clown Cried.
So he's a comic at a concentration camp.
I guess a Jewish clown.
Who books that?
I think Barry Katz.
So I don't.
Do you find it easier? Like, can you watch stuff that you write and direct more so than you can watch stuff that you perform in?
Yeah,
or is it's different?
When I'm in it, it's hard to watch. But the stuff I write and direct, obviously the process, you end up watching it over and over.
Yeah.
And last night we had a screening. It's, unlike the these small movies I make, I see those movies when they're in festivals and they're screening. So the TV show, it's been fun. We've had a couple screenings, and to sit there with a live audience to see if things are playing, you know.
When you do a movie like God Bless America.
Like Bubba the Bear, I showed that last week at a premiere, and when there was gasps and stuff,
yeah,
I hoped and I thought that the people would find the show funny, but when there's people gasping, I was happy and surprised, because I'm like, Seth's okay. He's right here. He's okay.
Right.
But it was cool to see people flip out.
Yeah.
You had an interesting take too, because when about you were close to Robin, and you talked about being angry at him, which is, and people don't usually admit that when somebody kills themselves, there's also an anger effect, or you get mad or whatever it is.
But I have to say that only hit me just recently, because I went through a bunch of different stuff when he passed away. And but just lately, what it is like, we were friends for 31 years, and sometimes he'd be gone for a long time on location or something, and we didn't, and now I'm realizing I'm not going to talk to him. I'm not going to see him. I'm not going to. So yeah, I got angry, but it's weird, there's and I'm not I not out of protest, but I'm just not involved in the book and this documentary and the other things, just because I think we were really close, because I kept a lot of our personal conversations super private. So that's, it just seems weird. I don't know. And I certainly it would be hard to watch the movie they just did of him, but I have openly say stuff sometimes. I mean, the thing is he had this thing, Lewy body dementia, which was misdiagnosed as Parkinson's. So his brain was totally attacking him, and he was getting misinformation. So he's going to a handful of doctors. He's sober. He's doing all this stuff, and he was just processing reality really weird. And I honestly didn't have a friend that I was in better contact with. We talked and texted every day, mostly, especially when he was ill. But he, in my mind, he did fight depression the whole time. We knew each other, and he was winning. I mean, that's the thing is, like, people go, "Oh, he was your friend. Did he ever talk to you about suicide?" I'm like, "We're comedians. We talked about suicide for 31 years. Sometimes we'd talk about other things. We'd be like, "Hey, congratulations on the Oscar." "Oh, thanks. How would you do it?" "I don't know. I think a car." "I think I'd do it in a car."
It really is a great option, isn't it? It's always there.
Yeah. So yeah, we went dark, but this was a different thing that and I miss my friend. So yeah, lately I've been a little mad at him.
Is there a part of you that, like, even though you don't want to necessarily be involved in the projects when the documentaries come out and things like that, the fact that you're not involved, that you don't need the credit for the relationship?
Well, you
like,
declined.
You don't need to.
Yeah. It's just, I feel it was just, like I said, like, we weren't like, I mean, we were really close. We spent and so I don't really, and even that, I mean, we worked a couple times on a public level, and we would do things like, I was his date to the Oscars once, which was funny. Me sitting in the third row of the Oscars, people, what is dude from Police Academy doing in the third row of the Oscars? It was like a Make-A-Wish kid, I was like so excited.
I forgot you were in Police Academy until you just said that.
Wow.
I totally forgot.
Come on.
I really did.
I think I'm going to marry you.
I completely forgot.
That might be the nicest thing anyone said to me in a while. But yeah, so I was saying that I know we were really good friends because I spent a fair amount of time bored with him. So if you think about that, just hours just doing nothing and just being real friends, where but he would play Call of Duty for hours on end, and I'd be like, "Hey man, let's just do something." He's like, "Oh, almost," the thing which I liked was he was playing other people. And finally one day I was like, "How old are these people you're playing?" He's like, "I don't know, 12, 13. And I'm like, so I love that there's like kids like going, the genie from Aladdin called me a cocksucker because he'd be cursing his brain. And it's not like he hit his voice, so I think that's pretty funny.
That's amazing, especially because his voice is so distinctive. Like I don't know how you.
Oh, you fucking little prick. So it would have been, I just think that's really funny.
And did you see Barry Crimmins before he passed away?
Oh yeah, I was there while he passed away. It's just I'm a lot of laughs, aren't I? I held Barry, and I was there with his widow, with Helen. So through that whole process, I got to see him and talk to him before he was in the state that he was when he left. But it was. I did Call Me Lucky, the documentary on him, and now I'm going to do a narrative film with Judd Apatow where Judd and I are writing the script and I'm directing and he's producing, and we're doing a story of Barry's life, which is how I originally wanted to do it. I was going to do it with Robin, actually. And Robin was the one who said, we're all getting old. He gave me some money to start the documentary. That's how Call Me Lucky got started.
Wow.
But, so Barry's just, he's on his way out, and he's like, I got to talk to you. And he shuffles me into the kitchen. I think he's going to tell me to take care of his widow, or he's going to tell me he loves me. And he's like, I want Mark Ruffalo to play me in the movie. I go, I want Chris Pine. He's like, who's Chris Pine? I go, how do you know Mark Ruffalo? He goes, I really like it when he speaks at the anti-fracking demonstrations. So, it was... I've heard people talk about that's an honor to watch someone go away, and I get it now. It was very life changing.
I've never done it where you actually know.
What are the positive?
It's about to happen, and what is the positive thing?
Well, for me, it was to be able to see him not be in pain anymore, and truly the way it was his wife hadn't eaten, and I kind of hadn't left, so I finally convinced her to get some food, and Barry had been in a comatose for a while at this point, and I left, and he woke up and he looked at her, and she said, I love you, everyone loves you, you can go. And then he passed away, and then I get a text, come back here ASAP. So I wasn't in the room, so I thought, wow, that's pretty awesome, because that's how it was supposed to happen. He was supposed to spend that moment with her, a third wheel. Hey, what are you guys talking about? So it did kind of, I wrestle with, any kind of rhyme or reason to this universe, and it kind of made me feel like maybe there is.
Yeah, that somehow worked out the way it was supposed to. Because I saw him last year. I didn't know him, of course, that well, but we knew each other casually, and I saw him at the festival, and we talked. And then all of a sudden, I didn't even know he was ill. Yeah. I had no idea.
It came down really fast.
It did come fast, right?
Yeah. But then I come back with the sandwiches, and he's gone, and Helen's sobbing, and I just go, what'd I miss? and as I'm saying, I'm going, wow, you're saying this like
it's coming out.
Yeah,
it's happening.
I'm sure you're familiar with that.
You're sure am.
Yeah, it's like, wow, I'm going for it. And then I thought, you know what, Barry would like this. And Helen did a genuine triple take. Like she was just like she was like, is this idiot not know he's dead? Like if I was directing, I would say, that's good, but just not such a big reaction. Just a little more subtle. Just keep it small. She was like and then we were sobbing and sobbing and laughing, and I'm thinking these doctors think we're the biggest ghouls in the world,
Mm-hmm.
But that's how you have to deal with this kind of stuff. I mean, right? It's
sure.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how he dealt with that kind of stuff. He was, it's funny. He brought a, people were like, oh, you got to be respectful and all this, and then I remember he brought a fart machine to my dad's funeral. so here's America's renowned political satirist, and he brought this electronic fart machine that he was just letting it fly when I'm at the not during the service, but during the, he could tell I was having painful small talk with somebody who I don't know, and I was in.
Always funny.
Never. Yeah, I'll never not find that funny.
No one's ever going to be object to a fart machine at a wake.
No, it's not going to happen. When you do a movie like God Bless America, and it's like a pretty biting social satire. I mean, everybody watches that, they kind of walk away getting what it was, and a lot of people saw it. I mean, and then the culture kind of just continues on.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah,
is there any
really
part of
funny.
you that goes like, wait? But we talked about this.
Yeah,
I showed you what you're doing, and you
really
acknowledged
funny.
it. Like,
it's really, I didn't think I was going to change anything, but I didn't think things would be amped up into an insane, crazier level than I kind of was predicting in that movie. It went way nuttier than I
it really
thought.
did.
Yeah, now it's kind of cute.
Oh, I remember when things were like that.
Oh, I remember. Yeah. So it's strange to see, and then there's sometimes, folks will quote it and stuff, which is strange even too, because often when I'm writing stuff, I'm not thinking the end product. I just kind of sit down and write, and I write a lot. I write a lot of scripts and constantly, and I don't write them under the pretense that they're going to get made. Even I just get them out of me just so.
How do you pick what you want to get made?
It's usually what I want. It's a bunch of different things. Like sometimes I'll think, I'm going to do this movie next, and then it's like a weird vibe. Like it's like, no, it's not time for the Gay Billy Jack movie. I would rather do because I wrote like it's not Billy Jack, but it's just the ass kicking Marine that gets kicked. I'm going to have to ask you to stop using that word.
So, and do you make yourself? It's hard sometimes to sit down and write. Like I get so distracted with nonsense. How do you force you? Or is there one place you go, or are you good at just opening your laptop and going, "Fuck it, I'm going to write"?
No, I go away. I go into a hotel, go out of town, and the guilt of paying for the room, and and then I just write.
So smart.
For 2 days a week. What will you do?
Yeah, like it's usually like 4 or 5 days. That sometimes I can knock out a whole script in a week, but it's just just to get it out of you, and because if I'm in Los Angeles or New York, my friends are gonna go, hey, let's go to a movie, let's go goof off,
right?
So
have you always been a person that like adjusts your atmosphere to make you do things because you have to go to a hotel, in another town or something, and that way, and paying for the hotel is what sits there and guilts you into doing this.
Yeah.
You said when you were on Kimmel, you were wearing ridiculous outfits so that you could make it so that you're not going to take yourself seriously.
Yeah.
Like, do you sit there and just figure out how to adjust your atmosphere?
I guess I do, yeah.
Can you only come with a gun pointed at your head?
That's what the question is. Yeah,
let's cut to the chase.
That's clearly where we were going.
But, I didn't realize, but yeah, I guess I do. I do make, my go-to place is, I woke up this morning and I was just, everything was horrible. And there's absolutely nothing horrible. It's just this weird thing. Like, last night,
that's starting point.
And so everything is always like, all right, well, I got to do this. So it's just all these things that I have to just fake normalcy.
Are you good at pulling yourself out of it? Like it's a chemical thing. Like you wake up and all of a sudden it's just like, oh my fucking God, this is horrible. But sometimes you can pull yourself out of it. What do you do to pull yourself out of it?
Well, I actually stop before and stop and just catch that's what I'm doing, and I really do. If I would cringe if I heard myself saying this, but sometimes it's a bit of meditation and stuff. Just because my go-to place is we're doomed,
right? And
this is going to be horrible, and all that kind of stuff. And I'm always wrong, I'm terrible at predicting the future.
Is it on a personal level for you, or is it like the world is doomed?
No, it's about me.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
It's egocentric.
Yeah.
The other day, I have one of the last episodes of the show is animated, and I was looking at the animation, and I was talking to the animator. It was FaceTiming, and I go, boy, you guys made this really funny. You did a great job. He goes, well, everyone really likes working on this. They really, are just volunteering, and everybody's been really kicking ass. And I go, oh, why is that? Like, clearly I was fishing. And my girlfriend walks by, and she doesn't even look up. She goes, because you're amazing. It's exhausting. Life is exhausting just to not self-destruct and not be bitter and all that kind of stuff.
How long does something like that? Because that will recharge you for a moment, right? When if somebody says you're amazing, that'll be like, okay.
No, I don't know about you. When you get done with a show and do you let any of that in?
I very rarely hear it. So, yeah, it depends. If I know I had a good set, like there was times I did something recently where I was very distracted on stage. I just was feeling disconnected and depressed, and I thought it was okay. And people are like, dude, you killed. In my mind, I'm like, no, I really didn't.
Right,
when you crush though and you know it, yeah, I don't mind it because I know it was a good show. I feels legit. Like it was a decent.
Does it feel better to you? Like, are you like, I'd like to hear that?
Sure, it feels nice to hear when you do it because it's the only validating thing all day.
Yeah,
right.
You have to know it. You have to know you killed.
You have
too.
to know you killed.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I guess it's like it, but I think we set the bar really high. Like you said, it had to be. You knew that you were present during that set.
Right.
Yeah. It's weird. It's really weird.
When you switch characters, I know we're wrapping up the show, but did you do it in the middle of a weekend, or how did you let the public know?
I started it Thursday. Yeah, and I didn't, and I made the decision honestly 10 minutes before I went on.
And how did they receive you?
They were mad.
They were. Was it a tough set?
It wasn't great, but they were like, do the voice, Yeah.
Did you do it at all or no?
No, because I knew I had to.
So you did the whole hour with annoyed people going like, I'm stubbornly not going to do this voice.
But I'm sure you guys know too. It's just like the more I go, it's not going to happen,
right.
man.
Right.
I was like,
and how did you? Didn't it affect your timing and certain punchlines, which were contingent on a sound or a facial lead in?
Sure, yeah, or even like, oh, the punchline is that persona.
Right.
Like, I was like, oh, that bit's dead.
Now you're just
I love that you
saying
did it on
things.
Thursday and said, "Fuck it, this is your weekend. Tickets sold." Shitheads.
Yeah. It was scary, but I had to, and lo and behold, I actually do sometimes enjoy doing stand up again.
This has been amazing, and you are amazing. You're amazing.
Yeah, she wasn't lying. I mean,
you're amazing, and we all think you're amazing.
And the show is great.
Because you're amazing, and the litter box needs emptying.
Hi, Jim.
Danny Fizz is here.
I fucking hate you, Sam.
Did you see Kong Skull Island?
Yeah, hell yeah.
I didn't see that. How was it?
It was good. It was like a fun King Kong movie.
I was really hoping this song wouldn't come up
How
today.
was the ape?
It was good.
It was good, yeah.
I feel he really portrayed an ape very well.
Well, with CGI, it's like they look a lot better now.
Yeah, it was cool. John C. Reilly was good in it. John Goodman. It was like one of the first skinny John Goodman movies, so it takes a little bit.
Yeah.
Well, he wasn't like skinny. He's just like a
skinnier
John Goodman.
Right. Well, was that before Cloverfield Lane?
Yeah.
Okay.
Was that a show or a movie?
That was a movie.
Okay.
Because he was skinnier in Cloverfield Lane. Not like he wasn't like skinny. He wasn't fat. He wasn't like big fat John Goodman.
Big fat John Goodman's my favorite.
You're great big fat John Goodman.
Wait, was he a creepy fat? Would you marry Roseanne? I would.
Yeah, speaking of big fat John Goodman.
Oh boy.
Skinny John Goodman might not be out of work, as it turns out.
Look, I understand that they're all freaking out on Roseanne, but that fucking Sarah Gilbert interview, I wanted to throw myself through a fucking window.
I didn't see it.
She's the host.
Yeah, but her statements about
her
it.
comments. Ugh. Sarah Gilbert's comments. What she played. It's Darlene, right?
Was it Give Me the Job?
Yeah, I get it, but come on.
Well, they made her an executive producer on Roseanne. In the beginning, not because of this. But
Is it because she had the genius idea of bringing back Roseanne? How is that?
It was probably because she was like, I'm not working with Roseanne unless you make me an executive producer.
Well, there you go.
Maybe.
And they were like, we need Darlene.
And she goes, I have a racism clause.
Right.
She goes, I know this lady. Yeah. I've been off camera with her.
Yes.
I want to be EP. And I get all the money.
There's a 2 N-Bob maximum.
Yeah, the Sarah Gilbert clause. She went in deep.
IRL, Roseanne and Sarah Gilbert do not share a lot of the same viewpoints.
Weird. Dude, Sarah looks exactly like my unfun aunt, Marianne. Sarah Gilbert. Like my whole life, I've always just been like, why does Darlene bug the fuck out of me? And I'm like, oh yeah, she looks like my mom's sister that's just a stick in the mud.
Just not fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sarah Gilbert does not look fun.
Oh no, she looks like she go, can you not use that word?
And her when she's talking on the talk, and she's just about how, like, I'm proud of the work we did. The fucking dumb hens in the audience are applauding. Like, shut up.
That's all. That's the view, the talk, the chew, all of it. It's like all the audiences might as well just be filled with a bunch of chickens.
Yeah, her mouth opens and a big dumb egg falls out.
We should just do a chicken roundtable show. Just have a bunch of chickens with more chickens applauding them. Yeah, I didn't get to see the interview where are they going to do a show called Darlene? What a wet blanket of a show.
Who the fuck wants to see it? But wait till she
I want to
describes.
see Becky. She's the live one.
Watch how she describes what Roseanne was. It's awful.
Yeah, we have the.
In addition,
Yeah,
same shit.
Oh, dude.
she's next to one of my favorite people.
very difficult week. A lot of people have been hurt by this. I will say I'm proud of the show we made. The show.
Yes, you did it, guys.
You should be.
Remember episode 1 when you guys fucking cured Hep C all together? I mean, people really suck their own dicks.
Yeah.
For some below average stuff. That wasn't a good reboot.
It wasn't.
It wasn't
I
good.
never saw it.
I watched the. No, it wasn't.
I mean, it's better than any other reboot.
But it was shot cleaner. It was just like the way they shot it didn't look the same, didn't feel the same.
No.
It wasn't the jokes. They shoehorned in so many things to be relevant in today's culture that it was like, I watched the first episode and I was like, man, I'm good. And
Like a little trans kid.
fucking loved Roseanne growing up.
Yeah.
I loved that show growing up. And then I was so excited for it to come back. And then I watched the first episode and I was like, I'm good.
You didn't give the second episode a shot? Like maybe, all right, the first episode back is not the best.
It just felt weirder. It felt like seeing someone after they've had plastic surgery on their face.
Oh.
Where they walk in and they go, hi. And you're like, oh, bring the old one back with all the wrinkles and fucked up shit. I don't want to see this. They're like,
But
don't I
also,
look great?
watching any sitcom, like a network sitcom now,
It's garbage.
it's a weird thing to do.
I disagree. I think there's good value and good family
I
entertainment.
hate you.
Nobody wants to hire you.
I forgot how sometimes I just want to drop kick you in the chest when you make these points.
I forgot. There's good family stuff on television. You watch, sit down with your family. You want a good value for your dollar.
Oh, guys, get some Coco. A new show's coming up about a family that's just misunderstood.
Yeah.
I fucking hate all that.
I think that's part of what made the reboot seem weird is that style of sitcom doesn't really work anymore. You know what I mean?
More like the gruff, kind of like.
Well, just like the
honest.
3-camera, like, you know, it's like, would you watch The Big Bang Theory?
Gerard Carmichael did the best job in recent history,
Right.
of making like a multicam sitcom that was watchable.
And even
really.
him, they wouldn't let do what he wanted to do.
Yeah, and you want to do a lot of stuff, and again, it was like NBC shutting them down after 3. Yeah, because they don't. It's all marketing people who are like, well, they'll pull out advertising dollars. What if we do something good?
Right.
And then they do something good, and then they're like, we knew it. That was actually NBC's decision.
Yeah.
By the
It's
way,
always,
listen to Showtime Dan Soder over here, huh?
listen, I'm pay cable, motherfucker.
Yeah.
We get to
Yeah.
show women pissing on dudes' chests.
Sure.
Right? Knuckles,
exactly.
Jim.
The chest.
Yeah.
Well, you're still cable. keep it on the chest, boys.
Yeah, sorry, we can't do dark web. We can't poop into another butthole. That would be cool. That's season 4 on Billions.
Oh my God, it sure would. Asshole to asshole, and you see if you can get it in clean.
Yeah, I want to be on set for that day. I go, you nailed it! It just drops right in.
It's like the space shuttle docking with the fucking station.
Yeah, it's going to look like the broken fuel thing from Executive Decision with Steven Seagal, with just leaks everywhere.
Let's go back to Sarah Gilbert.
Oh, she's good.
She's got a lot to say.
the show has always been about diversity, love, and inclusion.
That's right.
Pause it. Pause it.
Yes, it
No, it
has.
hasn't.
No,
No,
it
hasn't. It's about
That's
a working
true.
class family that's just trying to fucking survive.
They
That's
were
what-
diverse and loved each other.
They were
Diversity.
white as shit the
What?
first 8 seasons. Jackie was a lesbian. That was the diversity that they got.
Love, diversity, love, and inclusion.
That's
Shut
right.
the fuck up.
It was about dry humping blankets.
You just say things and the hens will go crazy.
Oh, you guys get ready. They're going to really shit in the 4th segment when we bring out a rooster. Yeah, I fucking hate. There's no. The Roseanne wasn't about that. Stop acting like it.
What do you mean?
Well, my jokes from all my specials are
Right.
about. And Jim, I'm sure your jokes are just the same. It's about love and connection,
Right.
Inclusion.
Inclusion
Right.
is important.
And diversity, too.
Yeah,
And
and it was
diversity.
about destroying stereotypes and the things that make people different, and reminding us of why we're all the same without appropriating.
You
Yeah.
mean
was that that you're talking about your bit from Monster Rain about?
Well, I was talking about me and my friends sucking each other's dicks.
Yeah.
I was like, you know what? This should be about the diversity of a man who presents himself as straight but is really a fag, and what he did as a boy. That's inclusion.
Yeah, you sat down in your office, to write that bit?
Absolutely. I said, let me. How can I? I included that boy's penis in my mouth. Perfect.
There it is.
That's what it was about. Diversity and inclusion.
Including a penis in my mouth is the inclusion.
When I first saw your special, people were like, "What does he talk about?" And I didn't even mention the dick suck thing. I said he mainly what he does is he celebrates diversity while encouraging sameness.
Yeah,
and it really is. It's really incredible.
Sameness is very important.
Very important.
Without appropriation.
Yes.
There's the asterisk.
You have to celebrate.
There's the hard line that Jim does.
Yeah. You have to celebrate different cultures.
Absolutely. Without appropriation.
Mm-hmm. That's actually the name. That was before he named it Monster Rain. It was Jim Norton without appropriation.
Without appropriation.
You should name your next special without appropriation.
It should be your arms open like a hug.
Yeah. And then I got blackface on like Drake.
And it's sad to see it end in this way. I'm sad for the people who
She's
lost
obviously
their
pretty
jobs
broken
in the
up by it
process.
because who could have ever thought that Roseanne Barr would tweet out racist shit?
What?
Who could have seen that coming?
Never.
No, that doesn't seem like her.
It does suck, though, when you're fucking at season 1's a hit and your show goes in the toilet over a tweet.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you kind of know who you kind of know
Still
who you're
sucks, though.
doing your deals with.
I would have killed to have seen John Goodman's reaction. He goes, "Oh, good."
She said, what?
Oh, fuck.
At least he has a movie career, though. I mean, John Goodman will work forever.
Yeah.
Yeah, the John Goodman thing, it was almost like John Goodman's doing it too?
And
The
if
whole
you're-
cast and John Goodman? Really?
When I found out John Goodman was back, I was like, I'm in. If they got
Right.
Dan Connor back, I'm way in.
Didn't he die in the...
Yeah. They can write it back.
Don't
Come
worry
on.
about it.
It's
Don't
like
worry
a
about
crazy Sam. It's an inclusive show. Even the dead are welcome.
You're right.
However, I do stand behind the decision that ABC made.
Fucking dumb pursed lips.
I love that.
I would, too, if they were giving me a show. Let me be honest.
We just applauded.
In a second, all this shit I'm talking, let them call me for that and go, you know what? Sarah's a fan. She'd love you to come in.
I
I'll be
applaud-
like, fuck that racist Roseanne.
Yeah.
I applaud the decision ABC made and the one they're about to make.
Guys, I wanted to tell you this. I'm co-starring in Darlene.
I'm the new neighbor. What's your name? Inclusion diversity.
Inclusion diversity. They don't want to give me a name because they don't want to steal from any other cultures.
That's right.
So I'm just going to be friend.
That's right. Yeah, I'm. It's also the whole thing that they have enough balls, quote unquote, to cancel the show because it's so outrageous. But they won't just cancel the show. They're like, oh, I think we can get some of the money that we were going to get for it.
That's all it is.
No one's going to want to see Darlene. No one will
shows
like
up?
that show.
Who shows up for Darlene?
No one. I want to see Roseanne without Roseanne.
Yeah.
Right.
I wouldn't even want to see Roseanne without John Goodman. Like I said, like that would be.
They should have really made it uncomfortable and just made the show DJ.
Dude.
And just did the whole show because he is. Let me tell you something. Adult DJ is not an actor.
Is he not good?
He is.
Dude, I kind of gutted through the first episode, so I can't really remember. Is it bad?
So they give him.
Wait, did he not act up to this point? Did he stop acting for a while?
He hasn't really done anything, I don't think. And they give him minimal lines on the show. So that he doesn't have to do anything. But whenever he does, like to me, it became very, very clear that DJ is in it for the paycheck and is not a career actor.
Can we see it?
Michael, can I talk to you real quick? Have you been acting at all? And he goes, no.
No, I have not.
Great to be back.
He goes, that show's in syndication. I've never had to work.
Yeah. All these other actors, like everybody's so hungry for work. Did they not know we get the checks from this?
He goes, I just found out Aunt Jackie was nominated for an Oscar. He's
Yeah.
like, why?
Why?
I've been living in Hawaii doing nothing.
Yeah. Did Aunt Jackie not get paid for this? Why would you do more?
Did she not sign up for the right amount of fucking money?
Yeah, I don't understand.
Oh, dude, I want to see. Oh, there it is.
Oh yeah, okay, here you go. This is a clip. It's Dan and DJ working together.
His IMDb page is very short.
Okay, so did I predict correctly?
Very short.
All right, well, he's been busy. He's doing a play.
Is there a large gap between technically, like on Hulu? I think they called this season 8 of Roseanne.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So is there a large gap between season 7 and season 8 of Roseanne?
I mean, he was finally able to put something that happened in this millennium
Oh, really?
on IMDb.
Like what?
Travis,
Like Roseanne.
Oh, no.
I'm not the best with math.
Yeah.
Are
He
we?
was in Walker, Texas Ranger. That's pretty fucking cool.
Are we 18 years into the millennium?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, he had a 10-year gap. He was
18.
Roseanne tricks and treats he did. Oh, when I used to trick or treat, I used to say, "We's going to tricks and treats." And
I would have hated you as a child.
Yep, people did.
Where it's going, tricksing and treating. You're an old prospector.
People hated me.
Yeah. You putting the Drake blackface back on? What are you doing?
Say that?
Tricksing and a treat.
I realize my friends.
Yikes.
You hate it, don't you?
Yeah.
I don't blame you.
I'm sorry.
No, you're not wrong.
Okay.
I hate it. It was me, and I hate it. Yeah, well, he did have a bit of a gap.
I'm
After
sorry. 2001, he was teen in van in AI Artificial.
It's a big get, dude. That's a Spielberg movie. Don't shake your fucking head at that.
I'm not.
Teen in van?
Yep.
Oh, come on. All right, let's watch Dan and DJ together.
I've been going through some stuff since I got discharged.
Well, that's probably normal. It's got to be confusing trying to figure out what to do next.
No, I knew exactly what I wanted to do. I wanted to re-up. They wouldn't take me.
Really? I didn't think they turned down anybody. That was probably better as a thought than a statement.
Yeah, I told them I wanted to continue defending our country, and they said, "We're good."
How'd you know I needed a 316?
Dad, I've been out here watching you rebuild bikes and drinks since I was 5.
What are you laughing at?
He goes, maybe you should have been learning how to act. I'm kidding. Sorry.
I didn't even fault the kid or the guy.
Yeah.
I fault the writing. I mean, look, I guess it's okay, but
Well, I mean, I don't fault him.
Dad trying to find a bonding moment.
It feels like a play.
Yeah, except like a high school play.
Yeah.
I don't
Like-
fault him for being a bad actor in the sense that I guess acting is not his passion, and they were like, we can't do Roseanne without DJ, but it should be noted.
Yeah, well,
He's not strong.
that scene seemed like at any moment they were going to go and stop. Now, this seems like a normal workplace conversation, but the problem is when he asked him about the Army, he wasn't being inclusive enough to add the Marines, Navy, Air Force.
DJ brings the energy of a corporate training video.
He really does. He really does a fucking, hi, Julie, that's a nice skirt. And stop. That's inappropriate to say to your coworkers.
When I was done in the military, I thought I would go back.
What did they shoot your timing? John Goodman says, having sick of it.
Or maybe, no, wait. Let me fix that. Maybe we could say something like how you had timing, but then ISIS killed it. I don't know.
Well, let's rewrite it. We'll put it in Darlene. Let's put it in Darlene. That's a good Darlene scene.
DJ in the garage. Let's redo it.
I mean, how fast do you think John Goodman hangs up that phone for the Darlene show? Where they're like, hey, we're going to do Darlene. He's like, no, I got to drink again.
Yeah.
They're going to say, what did John say? We didn't get past Dar.
John, good news. There might be work after all. We're going to do it. John.
Any money that they would make off of Darlene will have to be spent on John Goodman.
Yeah.
Like the amount of money he will require to do a Roseanne spinoff.
And then will Roseanne make a cameo in it? Like, what do they do with Roseanne?
Hell no.
No. As it goes on, do they think, okay, we can bring her back now? There's a lot of money in it.
Yeah.
I mean, for like money, do they think like
The show won't last long enough for that to be a
she'll
thing.
be dead.
Yeah, they'll kill her.
They'll kill her. Like they killed Charlie Sheen.
That wasn't, well. That's right.
In the show, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, they'll just kill her. They'll kill her character.
The report that I read this morning in the Hollywood Reporter said that everyone is coming back except Roseanne.
It's crazy.
Every actor, every creative team, writer,
for a Darlene show?
showrunner. Yeah.
Well, they probably have big contracts for season
That's
2,
the other
so they're
thing is
probably
that, like-
honoring those contracts.
Yeah, like John Goodman, Laurie Metcalf, and I think Sarah Gilbert all have to be paid either way.
Oh, so they got to get something out of them.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
What did they should they?
So they're doing the DJ show.
Why don't they just do a show about Dan Connor? John Goodman. Make it about John Goodman.
There's no way John Goodman wants to do the show all about him. He's like, look, I'll do some of the scenes. I'm not being the fucking guy everywhere.
I
Like, come
guarantee
on.
they should have just wrote it out with her and had her on the apology tour, groveling. Oh my God, sensitivity.
Yeah.
They would have caught some shit. But something else would have happened. She would have been on. They would have had a little bit of grief, and then it would have been all forgotten and scrubbed. So they panicked.
Although, odds are she would have just done more racist tweets.
No, but that's the problem. She could have just shut the fuck up and stayed off Twitter. And then you do a fucking an apology tour this day and age, interviews. Oh my God, who did I hurt? Blah, blah, blah. They all would have come back. Shut the fuck up.
Here's the problem with Roseanne. She doesn't have the ability to do an apology tour.
Yeah, maybe not. No, she did. But that's wrong. When they were going to cancel her, she said she begged. And I guarantee you, if they would have kept her, she would have went out and fucking been in Gloria grovel.
Even on Twitter, she couldn't figure out what her apology was. She would apologize, and then she would not apologize, and then she would blame somebody else.
Because she's still angry about losing the show. If they would have given her, if they would have said, all right, but you got it, because she said she begged. You don't admit begging unless you, if you admit begging, you really fucking begged.
Yeah. You're like, I begged.
I begged.
Oh, I begged.
I begged.
I got down on my fucking knees, and I fucking begged.
Actually, we have audio of Roseanne in the meeting.
No, we have audio of the fucking head of Disney.
You stupid fucking cunt.
I mean, that, like, you think about all the people when they're like the first person to make that call where they go, hey, Roseanne tweeted something. And they're like, what did she tweet?
I don't think it's that big of it.
I don't know. You just want to look. You should look. And then that, where they're like, because you're right, it's happened so fast that they're probably all coming back to work. And then they're like, oh, fuck, we can't come back to work.
Yeah,
and
she's
then Wanda left, and the actor's like, well, I'm leaving.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Sarah Gilbert was like, yes, finally, my Darlene show can take off.
Darlene.
DJ's been politicking behind Sarah Gilbert's back. Guys,
I'm telling you, I think this show needs a lot more Deej.
Darlene is not a money character. Everybody knows she's amazing supporting character.
How about
she's
me?
So great.
You come for Roseanne, you stay for DJ.
How about me in the military? I could go back in. We could do a whole thing. He'd be like fucking Gomer Pyle.
Yeah.
Give a fuck
He
about
goes,
you.
or we change directions. Go hold Delta Force. I got to go get some of my friends behind enemy lines.
Right. No. Everybody else, they'll have their parts. I'll come back home every now and then, but more this is DJ in the military.
He goes, it's more of the first episode of the season. You see my family. Last episode. In the meantime, I'm just killing motherfuckers.
Right. Lots of guns, explosions.
Babes, hot babes.
Yeah, and we'll do it like hot chicks in the army where they're wearing like little camo shorts and then just those bullet belts across their tits.
He goes, take a look at this picture. It says Booty Patrol. He's like, it's kind of like that. Kind of want people like that.
DJ's pitching Booty Patrol. Coming to ABC, Booty Patrol.
He was DJ. Now he's on Booty Patrol. It's inclusive. It's understanding. It's warm.
White women, black women, white men, black men, everybody.
Oh, beige men.
With John Goodman.
Yeah. He goes, I'll show up for one.
Yeah.
I don't think that's going to be a very good show.
What, Booty Patrol?
Darlene. Booty Patrol would be awesome.
Booty Patrol would be great.
I like that you like came out of it. You go, no, Booty Patrol would be the shit.
I'd be really happy with that.
Yeah, it's not going to be good.
No, I think they're just trying to soak up whatever money is left a little bit.
They owe the money.
Exactly.
They got to pay these guys. How fucking pissed is Roseanne, though, when they're just doing your show without you?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So when she can...
Do you think... I mean, that's never happened before, that somebody sends out, like... bad tweets and then they get fired and then they look up and the show is just happening without them.
It's true, but it's certainly not as good a show.
You don't think so?
No. No.
You think that's what happens?
Garbage.
That's what happens when the Darlene show takes over.
We had 2 years of the Darlene show here,
and now we got Booty Patrol.
Yeah, exactly.
Booty Patrol's way
Booty
better.
Patrol.
Oh, are you calling Sam DJ?
Fuck yeah. Army DJ though, not Roseanne DJ.
Okay, I get it.
Yeah.
We could call it maybe BOOTIE, so you're not sure what it means.
That's great.
You're good.
That's great.
You're good. Get this guy in a room. He's good.
Yeah, that's great stuff. That is really great stuff.
Thank you.
Do you know this UFC fighter that her husband has Nazi tattoos and they keep apologizing for them but won't cover them up and take them
I'm
off?
sure he'll cover them up. I don't care about his Nazi tattoos. He got them. If he really did get them in jail, look, when you're in jail, you're in jail. It is what the fuck. Who gives a fuck?
Don't you think that you have a opportunity after you get out of jail to remove swastikas?
Yeah, that's like your wife's like, honey, we got to go to the fight. Also, could you cover up your Nazi tattoo?
Yeah, we're going to go turtlenecks again.
He goes, it's an Aryan nation. I was avoiding a butt fucking from the Latin kings.
Yeah. I was in jail. Yeah,
I was in jail.
I think that was years ago.
She goes, honey, you were in county for a week.
Right.
He goes,
you get locked up in a traffic violation.
He goes, well, I had to make peace somehow on the inside.
Yeah, see, the issue is The Nazi, the swastika is small, and I go, okay, that could be a jail tattoo.
The SS?
The SS is artfully done. It's
Yeah. The SS has shadowing to it.
Yeah, the SS is not a prison
Maybe there's
tattoo.
a KI before it. Who knows?
That's true. It's Kiss Army. That's what they're talking about right there. That
Yeah. So that's the first picture that came out. And there's like a little, if you zoom in on his arm, you can see a swastika. And they're like, is your husband a Nazi? She's like, no, obviously. I loved her response. She was like, of course not.
Yeah.
It's like, I think it's a swastika. She said, well, he got it done in prison.
I date bad boys.
Right.
That's what you should have said.
And then people first were like, well, you could get the swastika removed. Yeah. And then people found the photos of his SS tattoo on his other arm.
What's his chest? I want to see his chest.
I don't know. I didn't see his chest.
No, but you can see he's covering something.
With his. Oh yeah, the life vest is over something. Yeah, there's more to it than prison. There, you see the swastika on the near the crook of his elbow up at the top there. Yeah, there it is.
He looks.
No, it's prison. I think those are prison. I mean,
he looks significantly older than her.
Yeah, the swastika.
A lot of that stuff in prison. Yeah,
not the SS.
Yeah, all that stuff. Arie and stuff. It is.
Yeah, Sam.
Are you leaving?
Gotta watch your butt. No, I'm grabbing eye drops.
Okay.
You think that the SS looks like a prison tattoo?
The SS doesn't. The
swastika does.
Why don't you think he got that in jail?
Because they don't have tattoo parlors in jail.
No, the SS looks like he did it at like a fucking mini mall in Long Island.
Yeah, it looks like an artist did the.
Thanks.
Plus all the shading and the whole sleeve is wrapped around it perfectly.
Yeah.
Let me see that again. I think he did that in jail.
Yeah, there's and why wouldn't he have removed it?
It's true.
He's got money now, right?
See that one.
Yeah, that's not a jail tattoo.
No, that's a real tattoo.
Doesn't it look like it's over that stuff? It looks like it's over.
No, because it doesn't work. You can see the outline of flesh. The other stuff went around it. You can't just paint.
Can you raise it up straight? So
you can't just paint black over black and it's okay. You can see the outline of it.
Yeah.
I don't know. It looks like, I guess so.
It's like shaded and shit. Like they took a lot of time on that SS one.
Right.
And he goes, those are just bad lightning bolts, guys.
It says TCB right over it.
That could be a jail tattoo, though. There's no color to it.
Yeah.
There's no color to that.
It's just, it's pretty well done. It's pretty, like a jail tattoo, they like use Indian ink and just like a needle. So like the swastika looks like it could be a jail tattoo.
Right.
I don't think those are great tattoos, though.
They're not, but it's pretty solid.
Troy, you're a tattoo expert.
Yeah, you know more. I'll wait more than me.
The black is pretty solid.
And wouldn't it
So
hurt?
you're saying that's definitely done professionally with like a gun?
Who knows what they have in jail now?
I think that's jail because they're all black and white. Who gets black and white tattoos now, unless you're in prison?
He goes, you've never been locked up in Sing Sing. There's a guy that does great work.
You think his whole sleeve is jail tattoos?
No, but a lot of it probably is.
His whole sleeve is black and white.
Yeah, all that shit. See, that looks pretty shitty, though, too.
Yeah, look at the fucking the web around. It's not good. It's not good work. Compared to what guys get in a tattoo parlor, that's shit.
Yeah.
It's not a good tattoo at all.
Imagine being the guy to date her after this guy.
Look at the sun up here. Look at this.
I'm pretty easygoing.
Yeah. Look, what is that?
Splat.
That's the sun? What the fuck is that?
Yeah, I have no idea what that is.
It's not good.
No.
I have no idea, but it certainly doesn't. It's detailed, though.
I think you could do that in jail. I truly do.
And
you think that whole arm's jail tattoo?
A lot of it is. I don't know what he started before, but I don't know how long he was in for.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think the waves and you can see like some kind of flag.
Troy,
the
do you think
stars
that's
coming
good?
up there.
Right, but that's not good work.
What has been her excuse?
It's terrible work, but there are a lot of shitty tattoo artists.
Yeah, there are.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying it's good work. I didn't sit there and go like, oh my god, the art on his arm.
Look at that.
But you need tools to do that.
How long was he in for? Yeah, but I bet you that a lot of that was done in jail. I want to know how long he was in jail for.
I want to know what water sports they're playing in this picture.
What are they doing?
I want to know, are they jet skiing? Are they... I always like that people, and Jim, you're a big UFC fan, and I don't think I've ever, this is what I love about you, I've never seen you in a picture where they do the fists whenever they take pictures with fighters.
I don't do that.
Bugs the fuck out of me.
I don't do that.
Like regular people, they'll take a picture with like Michael Bisping, and they'll be like...
I did it one time.
One time?
Yeah.
Okay, that's great. Muhammad Ali?
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, that's no problem.
Jerry Cooney made me do it one time in a picture down in the lobby. He was like, put your hands up.
Yeah.
And you're like, all right. And I'm like, and I was making a face like, this isn't my idea.
Jerry Cooney, he taught me how to throw a punch. We were talking, and there's a video of it. And he's just such a big man in a sweater vest.
Yeah.
He's a big guy.
Huge. Huge.
He's like one of those 65-year-olds that would still fucking punch you through a wall.
Was the lesson effective when he taught you how to punch?
No, but when you see how he does it,
yeah.
Like he said something about he's such an old school guy. He's like, and then you lean in, the guy gets in your picture, and he's showing me how to throw, and you're like, this guy would literally fucking put me in a coma.
Yeah. if he hit you with a big left hand, it'd be done.
He'd put me in a coma
because he has like at this point he's all not only a former professional fighter, but he's also like got dad strength.
Yeah.
So he'd just fucking wipe you out. The way that kid got tossed to the ground. That'd be this is the noise I'd make if Jerry Cooney hit me. if Jerry Cooney jacked me in the chest.
He did grab me one time, and then he said to me,
"Don't you come in my hand, you cocksucker."
Lovely man.
Yeah,
so
he's the best.
This is Andrea Lee. Andrea Lee's coach and husband. I don't know what the relation is. Okay, yeah, no, Andrea Lee is the UFC fighter.
Yes.
This is her husband we're talking about. I see. So her husband is also her coach.
I'm guessing, yeah.
That's what they're saying. He said, these scars tell my history, which include a dark time when I was in prison. However, they do not accurately represent who I am as a person, my personal belief system, and the respect I have for people of all races and religion. For 13 years, I have tried to atone for my sins and seek forgiveness from those. Most certainly find my body reprehensible. I've, in most cases, gone to great lengths to always wear long sleeves in public setting. So he's saying that he leaves them because they're scars of a dark time in his life.
Man.
Just getting covered up.
Yeah, it's so easy to get them removed.
Guess how you can talk about your dark time in your life? Stories.
Right. Write a book.
Yeah. Or put something happy there. Like put 2 smiling Jews. How about that? Or put something else.
Put Jews under the swastika looking up like,
finger.
What are you doing? Fuck you.
You just add to it.
Yeah, he goes, it's even better as the tattoo artist is racist, so he makes the Jews look like those propaganda cartoons. Where you go, oh, now it just looks like I'm going with it more.
Oh, come on.
But he's flipping off the Nazi thing. Yeah, but it seems like...
It looks like propaganda art.
How about you get Oscar Schindler taking a shit on it. How about that? That says something.
Man.
That's great. That's what he should do.
Yeah.
Yeah, just add around it. You don't even have to cover it up.
I want to atone for my sins. Do you want to cover them up? I'm not crazy.
No.
I don't have that much time.
That hurts, right? No, thank you.
I've heard cover-ups hurt. Is that correct?
I don't like needles anymore.
Yeah.
If he said like he had affection for the guy who did it, that reminds me of Mike. You know, Mike was a guy who would tattoo him and then fuck him in the mouth.
He goes, I guess you could call Mike artist, friend, lover.
Yeah, husband.
Bunkmate.
Jim, how did Kiss never get shit for the SS
They did in Germany. It has to be Ace Frehley designed it. It has to be like a regular S in Germany.
They changed it, right? For the Germany logo?
They did. Yeah, it was never meant to be Nazi, and Paul always tells how they're uneven. They're uneven. But was that the German one? Yeah, that's the...
they flatten it out.
It has to look different.
In Germany, it's like backwards Z's.
It wasn't meant to be a Nazi thing, though. It was just meant to be...
Just like cool.
Kiss Destroyer, best album cover ever. I mean, it just is what it is.
You think so?
Yes.
Well,
yes.
No arguing. Let me go to Leonard here in Texas. Leonard, welcome.
Hi, Joker.
Hi.
Go easy, man.
How are you?
Hi, Leonard.
Hey, I'm going easy. Hey, listen, I got a surefire way to tell if it's prison tattoos. You ever, one or two examples, you ever seen an old World War II vet?
Yep.
It's got an old tattoo and it's all bled out. Looks like a felt marker that got wet.
Yep. Yeah.
When you see that, generally speaking, it's a jailhouse tattoo, and the reason is the needles that they use in there, and the ink isn't as high quality, but the needles it's kind of like televisions where you don't get as much pixel, and you get sort of out of focus. Best way to say it.
That makes sense. And the swastika is like that, but the SS isn't. Look, we could talk about Nazi tattoos all day, but
yes.
Our guest is here, I believe. Jason Mitchell is coming in. Is he here? Yeah.
Yeah, he's just saying hi this way.
Oh, must be nice.
So yeah, that doesn't look like a very good tattoo. It's kind of like a bleeding black ink tattoo. It's not a good tattoo.
Yeah.
I firmly believe
the SS tattoo looks better than the swastika
the SS tattoo.
Yeah, but
is
you're
not
saying
bleeding.
that because you believe in it.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah,
no,
Dan just likes the message behind it.
I like all the literature. I like all,
He actually signs his name like that. Dan S-O-D-E-R.
I go Dan. I go 2 S's on Soder, even though it's not necessary. They go, there's an extra S. I go, it's there.
That's actually how he spells Fizz.
Yeah, Danny Fizz.
Yeah, the 2 Z's at the end.
They go, this is S's, and you go, is it?
Sam Roberts.
I just went camping with Arie Shaffir and Joe List up in the Catskills.
Oh yeah, the Bushwick Boys.
No, Bushcraft Boys. Bushcraft Party Boys.
Oh, sorry.
Don't fuck it up.
I did.
You called yourself the Bushcraft Party Boys?
We're the Bushcraft Party Boys.
Right.
Yeah. That's not what we. That's what we're called.
You, Joe List, Arie Shaffir.
We're adding new people.
Who could be the fourth member?
We're figuring it out. You want to go overnight camping out in the woods?
I'd rather ride through parking lots and find the bottle he left.
that's obvious.
Right.
No, I don't like camping, buddy.
Little ice, still good.
You'd love it. You'd actually like the hiking part. And
oh my God, I fucking hate it.
Why?
I hate hiking.
Why do you think everybody likes hiking?
Hiking stinks.
Hiking's the worst.
I love it.
It's all uneven ground and twigs.
Yeah.
Fuck that. Bugs. Fuck you.
You got a car, right?
Yeah.
So you need to hike for.
I despise hiking.
I had to shit as soon as we got to camp. You have to go. You have to go 150 feet away from the camp or river or the trail.
Mm-hmm.
You have to find a spot, and then you have to dig a hole, and then you have to shit in the hole. The shitting outside, squatting down like you're supposed to. I shit a rope. It was the greatest shit I've ever taken. It was just fat, and it was just shit.
What did you wipe with?
I have toilet paper, and then I use one baby wipe. Toilet paper goes in the hole. And then one little baby wipe.
Where does the baby wipe go?
The baby wipe goes in a plastic bag, and then you throw it away.
Ew. You have to carry it
but
with
there was
you?
no shit on it. There was no shit. I wiped.
Oh, it's your butt juice.
Little peanut butter.
So that's shit.
It was a little
smudge.
Shit.
I mean, it wasn't bad.
It's in a plastic bag in your knapsack?
No, it's in the trash now.
Well, I mean, but
it was you had to carry your fucking shit wipe out of the fucking. That sounds fun.
Yeah, you can't. I mean, I use.
Why is toilet paper biodegradable, but
Yes.
wipes are not?
Yeah, the wipes are not. Yeah,
I see.
Yeah,
I see.
But the shit, it looked like I've never seen a shit because you just shit and it goes down the drain. But when you shit and you have to like cover it back up, you get to see your shit like in the sun.
Did you like it?
It was great.
You were impressed by it?
It was shit, and then it looked like there was little little egg shits.
Oh,
like alien eggs, and then it went back to shit, and then more alien eggs.
Did it stink?
No, it didn't stink.
Because the water isn't there to mask the odor.
No, it didn't stink.
Why? Let me ask you a question.
Big,
Why do you
beefy shit?
Why do you have to shit in a hole if it's nature?
You have to bury it.
Why?
Because
so nobody steps in comedian shit.
That was way worse than regular people shit.
Oh yeah,
just nachos and fucking quesadillas.
Why, Jim? You wouldn't want to dig a hole?
I certainly would not.
You would prefer just on solid ground. How would you feel though if some of your campmates, like your cohorts, like Bob Kelly and Arie Shaffir, stepped in your shit?
I'm trying to think of. It's like, how would somebody describe a sunset, or the birth of a child, or something?
Really?
The joy.
Right.
I'm trying to think of what pure joy is.
Maybe you just go like this. Nice.
Yeah. Yeah. It made me really, especially if they're barefoot.
My buddies just stepped in my shit. Nice.
Nice.
I remember when my friend Mark Rosenberg, we were fucking outside in Edison, New Jersey, and we were sitting there in the fucking grass, and Mark leaned back. And he put his hand in a fresh pile of dog shit. Dude, it was so fresh. It was like he pulled it up and like the whole glop of shit came up with. It had fucking grass pieces in it.
Oh my God!
He leaned back, ready for a nice moment of sunshine, and hit directly into dog shit.
Yeah, that is disgusting.
It's one of the greatest memories I'm ever gonna have.
That is disgusting.
I'm 49. I was probably 8 when that happened. So maybe or 9. That's 40 years ago, and I remember it as clearly as I can see you guys. And the joy has not abated 1 ounce.
Did you get a good laugh out of it when it happened?
It was as a kid. As an adult, that's great. As a kid, that's like fucking. You can't find words as a child to describe your buddy putting his hand in dog shit.
This is why Jim became a comedian. For the rest of his life, for the last 40 years, he's been searching to replace that laugh, and it has not happened.
I've been looking for that laugh since fucking.
Come camping. Take a nice shit in the woods and fucking shit in my tent.
I'll never get that childhood joy back of just watching my friend put his hand in duty.
No, because all the pressures of adulthood are gone.
How about the time when you shit in my barrel
in
the hotel room.
I was talking about that on Sam's. Me and Sam were out in L.A.
Yes.
We were talking about that with Natasha and Moshe.
Yeah.
I mentioned I shit in your fucking garbage bag.
It's just you and Chelsea Peretti.
Yeah,
giggling in my room. I'm like, why are they
Chelsea
giggling?
thought it was funny.
Hilarious.
That's awesome.
I had to go to another floor and leave my barrel.
You did.
Yeah, what am I gonna do? Clean the shit? No, I fucking just took it. Got on the elevator with a bucket
She
full
didn't
of
do
shit.
it. Only me. I'm the only one who shit.
I know you did. And it was perfect too. It was like a dark.
You looked
like,
at it.
I had to. I was like, what is? And then I looked. It was like a ice cream
Did
cone
you gag?
of shit. Yeah, it was terrible. It
Yeah.
was black,
I would
dude.
imagine.
Like black tar heroin.
So you guys hike up.
Yes.
You shit in a
No, we
shit
hiked
pit.
up.
Is that what you
down.
call it? Shit pit?
We hiked down. No, but you could call it shit
Shit
pit.
pit?
I like a shit pit.
Can you make me a shit pit?
Yeah, I had to make my own shit pit. You make your own shit pit.
Okay.
Yeah.
But if I'm a rookie, could you help me with it? Why?
You have to figure out your own shit pit.
Oh, okay.
You have to YouTube shit,
Shit pit. Is that charming? If
Shit
you're going to kiss somebody and you're like, come on, plant one right here on the shit pit.
Point to your mouth.
Shit pit. Yeah, it was bad.
So you hike up.
Yeah.
Hike up the mountain.
Yes, sir.
And this is in Westchester, the Bestchester?
This is in Catskills.
Okay.
Went up Catskills.
Okay. So you hike up the mountain.
Yes.
Make a shit pit.
No, hike back down the other side to the lake. We're
Why
near
bother?
a lake.
Just go around.
Go around what?
The mountain.
You can't.
Too big?
There's only a couple ways in,
I see.
and they're all fucking kind of up and down.
Yeah, it's annoying.
Well, if you're hiking, it's not. That's kind of what you.
Well, walking uphill is not fun.
Walking
Troy,
down
you like
sucks.
walking uphill?
No, not at all.
Yeah.
Walking downhill is worse.
No, it's funner. You can run real quick.
No, it hurts your legs worse.
Troy, you like walking uphill or downhill?
Downhill, definitely.
Me too.
Troy, do you say yes to whatever Sam wants you to do?
Pretty much.
Okay. I
appreciate that, bro. So
walking uphill blows.
It's the worst.
It fucking blows.
Everything uphill. Riding a bicycle uphill. All
terrible.
of it sucks.
It was pretty fucking tough.
Exactly.
It was really tough.
So then you walk downhill.
Downhill was easy, but it hurts you. It hurts.
'Cause you gotta-
Uphill hurts your heart, like mentally.
Right.
Like and your breath is gone. Downhill hurts your legs.
Because you got to stabilize yourself the whole
knees.
way.
Yeah, your knees. Yeah, your knees and your quads fucking hurt.
So then you get to the bottom of the mountain.
We
you
have
make
to set up camp.
Make a shit pit.
You set up camp first.
Oh, okay.
And then you realize when
What
you're
if you-
bending down, putting your tent pole sticks in, and you're like, oh, I got to take a hot fucking Italian sub shit.
Right. Did
And
you have an
that-
Italian sub before you left?
Before we left, yeah, the hike.
Is that camping food?
Well, no, we brought camping food too.
Okay.
Little,
But you guys had subs right before?
well, that was Joe List's thing, dude. We should get a sub. We should get a sub. We're going to be hungry on the hike. We're all like, okay. And then we have subs. And Arie forgot his sub in my car.
That's great.
So I split my sub with Arie.
Oh.
How do you forget a sub?
I don't know.
Does that mean your car, when you got back to it, smelled like sub?
A little like turkey and cheese.
Sure.
Yeah, a
Okay,
little
that's
bit.
not bad.
The
That's
next day.
okay.
Yeah, and then you set up you set up your camp, and
Right.
then I was like, I got to go take a hot one.
Right.
And I was a little nervous.
Do you go off into the
I'm
woods by yourself?
Don't get nervous. Don't get nervous.
Nice.
Nice.
I was a little nervous because I'm a little heavy, and I didn't know squatting down how long I could squat.
Plus
I'm
your
a
leg-
little heavy.
Yeah.
Did you want to correct him, Jim?
I was being sarcastic.
Okay.
Nice.
Nice. And plus your legs are tired from up and downhill.
Terrible. Your feet hurt.
So, and do you go and create your shit
I
pit?
went-
You should bring a toilet chair.
Yeah, that's carry more shit. I actually went. That'd be a great.
A camping thing, like a chair that yes,
A backpack toilet?
I'll tell you what. You know how you bring chairs up once in a while. There should be an option. You know what? No,
Jim's not going to say it on the air because
No.
he wants to invent it. He wants to bring this to the Shark Tank.
Well, you could have wrapped it. Just have like a flat thing with a hole in the middle, like a toilet seat that wraps around
give
a tree.
away ideas. We're saving it for Shark Tank.
wraps around the tree. Who the fuck wants that?
Yeah, pitch that to Mr.
Terrible
Wonderful.
idea.
You know why?
Boo.
There's
You know
nothing
why?
proprietary about that.
Boo.
You just like the word proprietary.
Yeah, he does.
I watched Shark Tank last night.
Because you lean against a tree. You put your back against
Word
it,
him up.
and then you dig the hole under where you think your asshole is going to be.
I see.
Allegedly.
But this is far
where
from-
your asshole would be.
This is far from the rest of the party boys, right?
Pretty far, 150, 200 yards feet away. Yeah.
So for privacy.
Yeah. Well, yeah. You don't want to shit near. You don't want to, like, if Joe has to go hang the bear bag
Sure.
or someone has to go get.
What's a bear bag?
You have to leave it near your tent.
Bear bags can't
A
reach.
bear bag. That's where you store bear cum.
Okay.
Wow.
But you liked it, though.
It charmed me.
Yeah, you got excited by it. Yeah.
He really did get
That's all that
excited.
counts.
He was giggling through the whole thing.
I know. It just made me giggle. I charmed myself.
So, yeah. Jim sometimes looks in the mirror and goes, "You're a charming motherfucker."
Yeah. Yeah. That's one charming motherfucking pig.
So,
go ahead, Sam. Go. Back to you.
you put the bear bag up in a tree branch.
Yep.
Can a bear just reach up and grab the bear bag?
Not if you put it up right. Not if you put it in the right spot. Like I think it's 10 feet up.
Then you got to climb up a tree to get it?
No, you just throw a carabiner with some cordage over a tree branch around 4 feet out, and then hang it down. Put the bag on it.
I see.
Pull it up
because a bear's not going to pull the goddamn thing.
They don't have thumbs.
No, they don't. They're not dexterous.
Yeah. No.
Right.
Yeah. So you and then you put a twig on it or a branch, and then let it go, and it goes back up and stops halfway down. So even if they climb the tree out on the branch, they can't get it because it's around 4 feet down from the branch.
Separate tents or same tent?
Separate tents, unfortunately.
That wasn't your call.
No, I wanted to get a nice big...
one tent, one blanket.
Maybe
a nice Brokeback Mountain fucking hand spit.
Yeah, that's right. Little teepee.
That's right.
Fucking put it in Joe List's butt. Hey, little nervous Joe.
You went right for it on that one.
I think we all got tents, one person tents. But I think next time I go, I want to get this hammock, AMOK hammock. Because being on the ground,
right?
And then around 1:15 in the morning, a pack of wild coyotes came through the camp.
Oh my god!
It was probably one of the scariest things.
I would be goddamn terrified,
dude.
I would laugh.
You would.
I laugh at coyotes.
Dude,
wow.
Coyotes sound like a wolf for like a second, and then they turn into something else.
What is the other thing?
It sounds like a wolf being attacked by something bigger.
Oh my god!
They go ow, they do that shit.
Yeah,
but they were only like maybe 50 yards away from us.
Did you guys scream "Shut the fuck up"?
Dude, let me tell you,
Quiet.
Joe List is an anxious guy anyways. He was actually nervous about a scratch he got about getting infected, so he had to open up the first aid kit to put Neosporin on his cut because he was like, "Do you think I'm going to get infected?" 45 minutes. Is this all right? Does this look good?
It's smart for him.
It's like not even bleeding. And then a pack of wild coyotes came in.
They probably smelled his cut.
Yeah, maybe it was the little rice pilaf I made.
Did you make a rice pilaf?
I did. I made a nice hot rice pilaf with some steaks.
Didn't you wish you had a gun at that moment though? When there's all those animals, like just in case.
I had a very big knife, and I had bear spray that I bought.
Bear spray would help. That would help.
Well, coyotes, but
that sprays far too. It's almost like bug spray, bear spray, where you could hit me from where you are like with a jet of bear spray. That's fucking brutal.
Yeah. I was scared because I knew about bears. I studied the black bears. I knew it would be fine if we hang. They're not going to really fuck with you unless they're with cubs or whatever, right? If you stumble across them, they have timber rattlesnakes up there. A lot of them.
What? There's rattlesnakes in New York?
Timber rattlesnakes. Yeah, up where we were hiking.
Yeah,
there's
Why
hundreds
don't you hike
of them.
where there's rattlesnakes?
I don't know. We wanted to go hiking. You just have to, don't step on them.
Terrible idea.
They have a rattle. To let you know.
I don't know why you would hike where there's rattlesnakes and bears and coyotes.
Well, I didn't know about the coyotes. I didn't hear shit because I did a lot of research on this hike.
Right.
And I didn't hear, nobody mentioned fucking coyotes.
How bummed out would you guys be if you're sitting there at your campsite, right? You're getting ready to turn in for the night, and some little bear cubs just walk into your area.
I would fucking shit my pants.
Yeah.
I would run for my tent, get that bear spray, and watch Arie or Joe being eaten. I would slowly back away.
You would.
I don't know. You got to make those decisions before you go. Like, what if this happens? Even when, remember when you went to Iraq? Didn't you make decisions in your head like, all right, if this happens, I'm just gonna die?
No, I don't remember, to be honest. But I know I wasn't prepared. I had no contingency.
Me and Colin were like, all right, we break a CD in half. We'll fucking stab somebody in the neck. We'll fucking try to hide in the sand.
You had all kinds of plans.
We would try to make up plans like if something happens, if we get captured, just let it fuck them. We'll just annoy them until they either laugh or cut our heads off.
So what was the plan if a black bear came with her cubs?
If a black bear came with her cubs,
I would go
At
pet
night-
them. I'd pick the cub up
you don't
and
wanna
say,
do that.
get out of here, or I'm going to throw it.
You might not want to
Smart.
do that. You might not want to do
Well,
that.
because the mama bear's not going to want Jim to hurt her cubs, so she'll go, okay, all right,
Back up.
okay.
She's going to slowly back up.
Right, okay, just don't hurt the cub.
Take the other cub and just say, no. The other cub will be mad, be like, fuck that, Mom. And he'll be like, no. Let's let this little thing take your brother. We'll get your brother back.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's
No,
right. Smart.
That did not happen, thank God. But I
How
would
amazing
flip
was
out.
that deer footage, by the way? We talked about that on the air, didn't we?
I don't think. What deer footage?
The footage of the hippo chasing the baby deer.
I don't think we talked about it on the air.
Did you see it?
I don't think so. That's why I don't think.
Oh,
we
I'm
talked
sorry. I
about
didn't mean. It just reminded me of a mother and her fucking.
We're talking about nature. It works.
Yeah,
It works.
the footage of look for a hippo chasing baby deer.
Yeah, it was fucking creepy, though. Coyotes were fucking terrible.
Is it angry hippo crushes antelope?
No, no, right there.
Antelope.
Baby deer saved by. Wait,
Is that the same thing? Is that like the fruit?
no, that's not it.
Like a cantaloupe?
Oh, is it a cantaloupe or an
Yeah.
antelope?
No, I would say nice fresh cantaloupe.
I love a cantaloupe.
Yeah. Nice fresh cantaloupe. Hippos are the most dangerous animal there is. They say hippos kill everybody.
everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're fucking the one where the mother gets in front of the fucking.
So what was your plan if the bear attack happened?
Well, the bear attack thing, if it happened, I had the bear spray.
But
And
you
I
would
had the
let
knife.
you would let your friends die.
But you have to kind of make that decision.
Correct.
Like, I got a kid.
Right.
You know what I mean? But the coyote thing, when it happened, it was they just went to sleep, and it was so relaxing. It was we had a fire going. We were smoking Cubans. It was crazy cool. And then you hear the zipper. I was already in bed. You hear the zippers go up and people rustling in the tent. And we're like, it's dead. You just hear these frogs going off. You're a 4-hour walk from anywhere.
Oh my God.
So there's no way if something happens, someone has to walk out 4 hours and 4 hours back. Or
Right.
maybe 6 hours if you ran. You could probably do it.
But they have to walk out 4 hours, but maybe they'll bring a car back, or you can't get a car over the.
You can get a car up one of the roads,
But you're
maybe a
still
range
looking
or
at
something. You're
5 or
looking
6
at
hours,
you're looking
yeah.
at a long time. So then we all went sleeping around 1:15. We're just lying there, and it's just so quiet and so awesome. And then these coyotes, dude, pull up. Can you pull up coyote sound? Pack a coyote. It's the worst sound I've ever heard in my life.
I'd like to hear what it sounds like.
It was so, and they went off for like a minute and a half. And then there was dead silence between the three of us, and everybody was still up.
Oh, okay. Here's coyote sounds. It just sounds like a dog barking.
No,
that's not that scary.
No, that's there it is.
And that's how you know there's a pack of them too.
Yeah,
that's terrifying.
Wow, I go out and pet them. They're probably nice.
Well, you're good with animals.
Yeah, they sound like dogs.
Yeah.
50 yards away from
Give
the
him a piece
tent.
of cheese.
Get a squeaky toy for
Yeah,
him.
give him a piece of cheese.
There's nobody
Piece of
around.
cheese.
There's nobody around. And then you just hear Joe List went, Bob, what do we do about that? And I went, I don't know. And he went, what? He was like angry with me. Like, what?
He was pissed.
He was mad at me.
Yeah.
Because I did all the reading. Like, I knew what to do about bears. And I was
Right.
teaching him all this shit about the bear and blah, blah. And he's like, what?
Did you carry the bear spray when you went and took a shit?
I had the bear. I literally opened my tent. As soon as I heard that, I grabbed my big knife.
Would you have been happy if he took the bear spray with him when he took a shit, and then while he was shitting, he accidentally dropped the bear spray, and then it was covered in shit?
No, what I would be happy is if he dropped it and it fired into his asshole.
So you grabbed the bear spray and then.
But I had a really big knife.
Right.
I had my bushcraft knife.
Oh, I forgot. You had one custom made.
I had two.
Good.
So I had my bushcraft knife. I gave Arie a knife, a pretty nice knife from Finland.
Oh, okay.
And then I gave Joe this fucked up little buck knife. And it was kind of dull.
Right.
And I know, and it had a trick to open it. You had to push this thing, and he couldn't, he had to have me open his knife the whole time.
Joe's thing was more like, Joe, why don't you just let us take care of it?
Yeah.
I see.
It was like, you know, cut your meat with that or
Right.
something.
Right.
I didn't want him to get hurt.
You can whittle with yours.
Oh, dude, it was terrifying. We were sitting there for a half hour waiting for just to hear somebody being fucking chewed on.
Now, did you hear them for the entire half hour, or did you hear them once and they went away?
They came in, they called each other. It was fucking terrifying.
Yeah, because in my mind, if they're calling each other and assembling, I'd be like, one of those coyotes is telling the other coyotes, there's a bunch of fucking nudniks that decided to walk across a mountain and sleep outside. Let's eat them.
Yeah. And I didn't know anything about coyotes.
No, I know. Joe was pissed. He went like this.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. He was fucking very angry.
Is he outdoorsy?
Joe is a good hiker. We've never done this. And this isn't a campsite. It's like they call it primitive campsites. So you kind of go up the trail, and then in these little areas you can spend the night or a couple nights up in the mountains. They have them in the Catskills. They have them everywhere. But, there's no running water. Like we had to fill up our water bags in the river and then filter it. No, there's these.
How do you filter it?
It's a Sawyer filter. You attach it to your bladder, your bag, or you put it on a bottle. You can drink right out of the bottle.
Are you worried that you have a tapeworm?
Yeah, no, you
fuck
can't.
that.
You can't. We don't have that shit here, really.
Oh,
it just filters out all the shit. You can drink that. The water you're drinking is from the same shit. They just filter it. So
but they have professional plants that filter it, not something you tie to your fucking water bottle.
Well, like a fern.
I'm pretty sure that Poland Spring.
Professional plants.
Fuck yeah! Wait. The lilacs are working.
Home run, Chip.
That was good.
Nice.
That was good. Nice.
Nice.
So you have to just sit there and wait. Like, how do you know that they're really gone?
Dude, none of us slept.
None.
As soon as the sun came up, you just heard zippers. We were like, let's get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, this is a bad idea.
Well, it wasn't. We're going to do it again in a couple weeks.
Why?
Because we just get, because I don't know. Like I said, we had the tents, which I feel like I'm going to switch over to a hammock because I feel like you can get out of a hammock quicker. And you're up off the ground, so there's no snakes. There's no.
That's smart. The snake thing is smart, but how high up off the ground would the hammock be?
It'd be like, I don't know, a couple feet.
3 feet?
3 feet, maybe 2 feet, something like that. But
couldn't an animal still come and just bite you in your sleep?
You could come and bite me, but I could get the fuck out. I could roll out of it and fucking stab
bugs?
somebody.
Bugs will get you in a hammock.
No. This hammock one that I want to get.
Yeah.
It's you can actually, it has a sleeping pad in it.
Okay.
So I'm a side sleeper, so you can lie on your side, but it also has a built-in bug net. So you just get in it and zip the shit around, and it has a tarp that goes over it, so if it rains, you don't get wet.
That's fun.
It's pretty cool. And it's sleeping in a hammock is one of the most comfortable ways you can sleep because
I like beds.
I mean, camping wise, I was going to say camping at the end of that, but like in a tent, I was sleeping on the floor, and I got this fucking big blow up pad you sleep on, and in the middle of the night the thing popped, so I was just sleeping on the ground, and that sucked because it was cold.
I would hate this experience.
After the coyote thing, my sleeping pad popped, right, and I was like, fuck. So I had to keep blowing it up because it had a little leak. So I had to keep blowing it up, and I'm rustling in my tent. And I scared the shit out of both of them because they thought I was being attacked. But I was just pissed off because my knees and hip bone were cold.
Yeah, I would have such severe anxiety, especially at sleep time.
Come with us
on this trip. There is no way.
Come on, we'll get you some.
I would hate that. I would the Apex camping shelter and hammock. It looks kind of
hammock.
This one's called Apex.
AMOK.
What about this one?
Yeah, amok.
This one though. It looks uncomfortable to collapse into.
No. Go to the
fucking hammock.
AMOK is you. It's like a bed in the air. AMOK is the.
I would.
Is a fuck. It's a from Norway too. The company, and they're fucking. It's unbelievable.
It looks uncomfortable.
You can actually this one you can actually sit up in like a chair. You pull the straps and it sits you up like a chair, and then you let them go and you lie back. But you can actually.
It just feels like it looks like
it has a sleeping pad in it, so you're sleeping on an air mattress in the air.
It looks like you're waiting to be attacked.
It literally looks like a guy. It's like a fucking a single person spacecraft.
Yeah. But as far as comfortable wise, sleeping on the ground, you have to. Make sure you clear the ground. Make sure it's level. You have to put a thing underneath if it rains. Blah blah blah. Something like this, like all the things I've researched, is that the things that suck about hammocks is that you're kind of cocooned in like this.
Sure.
But this one,
You're just waiting there for a bear to attack you, and you can't do anything. You're literally a fucking treat hanging 2 feet in the air.
Well, you're a treat. I'd rather be a treat that I can get the fuck out of it.
No,
You
the best
can't get out
part
of
for
that.
the bear, because of that, you're right, because of that bug net thing, is you're literally already stuck in a net.
Yeah.
If that bear comes and attacks you,
You're
stuck in a
you're
net.
like a fucking a cod stuck in a.
That's right.
A fishing net.
100%. Yes.
Oh, you got to tie them around a tree. Who the fuck?
So easy. You
Who's got the
wrap it
time?
around the tree.
Dude, it looks terrible.
It's great.
I would be
It's
terrified.
great.
I would be
And you got
terrified.
to piss.
That's the thing. You can just zip. You on this one. You just roll out of it. On a tent, you have to, like a one-person tent. You have to unzip it.
There's no way
you have
you just
to
roll
kind
out
of
of
get
it.
your shoes. You have to get your stuff on. You got to kind of crawl out. You know, it depends on the tent, but
Oh,
most one-person
Bobby.
tents are on the ground.
fucking blabbermouth cunt!
Oh my god,
That's harsh.
So, I thought I was hanging out with my second stepfather.
I mean, backyard tents are hard enough to get in and out of. This is impossible.
Well, I have a big blow-up tent, a four-person
I
tent.
mean,
you
hammocks.
walk in.
Backyard hammocks are hard enough to get in and out of.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
This one's impossible.
No.
Everybody gets all wrapped up in them.
No, you
Yeah.
just this one you just sit in.
Dude, if I went with you, I'd be terrified, and I'd be trying to come up with reasons to keep you guys up all night so I didn't have to sleep by myself.
Why don't you come with me? I'll get a two-person tent.
I don't
You
want to
sleep in with me.
No, because then it gets
Sammy.
even weirder.
No, it's not going to get weird. It's going to get warmer, not weirder. Wrong
sure-
W.
I'm sure it'll get warmer, but I feel like just
Come on.
old,
Hey,
old
Nort.
memories will start to come up
Do
with
you-
you, and it'll get.
Come on, you wear that little number you used to wear.
I don't want to do that anymore.
Why not? You come with me. I get a two-person tent. Me and
Yeah.
you. We'll get in there. I'll get a nice little pad. We get a nice little double
'Cause
sleeping
here's how it would
pad.
start. Remember when you were an intern?
Yeah.
And you would remember the stuff you would do? What would you do? What kind of stuff?
First round thing's gonna happen. I'm gonna reach around, put my middle finger in your belly button, just
Oh
to
my
make
gosh.
just to make sure you're warm.
Oh my gosh.
That's a cool way to hold them there from the back, too.
Yeah.
So when he tries to scamper away, you dig into the belly button. It's like, all right, all right, all right.
That's the way. If I got another scooter, I'd have Sam ride from the back with both fingers in my belly button.
Get the other one in there. There's room.
There's a lot of room.
You would just hear a gulp, one finger in my belly button, and just me.
No, you just hear my hernia pop back in. Look at Jim's face.
Yeah, at no point in my life am I ever going to be outdoor camping. It's not going to happen.
Look at
I'm not even going to glamp, to tell you the
I
truth.
used to be into it. And I got out of it living in the city. But now I'm getting back into it. But you would like it.
No, I wouldn't.
Well, you like fishing. Whatever happened to that boat you got?
I got it. I'm going up and using it. I use
you
it every
do use
year.
it. Okay.
I use it every year at it's at my Uncle Jimmy's. He lives on Golden Pond, that actual lake. He has a huge house up there, and I have my boat up there, and we go pond fishing all the time.
I like staying in my basement. I like playing PUBG. I like watching my shows, my programs. You know, there's nothing.
I take Max hiking all the time. We go out in the fucking woods, hike around. Dawn's going with me. We're going camping. I'm taking the kid and the wife to an actual campsite, family campsite. It's called car camping. You pull up, you set up a tent, and there's all
Honestly,
kinds of
What do
shit
you do
to
if you take a kid camping? If it's just you and your son, or you and your daughter?
Yeah.
And then the adult has a heart attack and dies.
The kid fucking lives in the woods, becomes Tarzan,
Okay.
makes friends with
Because I'm thinking
animals.
Gandolfini. It happened to him in the hotel. He was out with his kid.
Yeah.
He becomes Mowgli.
And the kid was like 12.
Yeah. Well, you have to make sure before you go hiking. I mean, not like 6 months ago, every test in the world done on my heart.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah. As soon as Colin had a heart attack, I fucking got everything done. Did you get all checked out at all?
No.
Were you good?
I have over the years.
Well, even though you're in shape, you should get plaque and shit like that.
Yeah.
You should get, you might have a nice hot widow maker. Not that it'd be a widow, it'd be a fucking bachelor maker.
Yeah, I'll go get checked. My heart feels
nice. Pew, pew.
Back to being a bachelor. Yeah. There's nothing about this that would appeal to me.
Yeah.
And I'd be sitting there, and I'd go, I'm camping in the woods right now.
Yeah.
If I knew that I had a night off, like where I'm not working and not with the wife and kid, I would have just gone to the movie theater. That's where I would want to be, in a movie theater. I like going to the movies.
I'm telling you, there's something about being out in the fucking woods that no phones, no service.
I don't mind
just
that.
conversation.
I like that.
We had to set up camp. We had to light a fire. We had to keep it going.
Bro, just come over to my house. We'll hang out on the deck. We'll leave the phones in the living room. Same shit. Phones in the living room.
same thing. Instead of just shit in a toilet.
Exactly. You can go inside and use the toilet.
I mean,
when
look,
you have to.
shitting outside was, no pun intended, shitty.
Actually,
by the way, complete pun intended.
Total intention.
Listen,
but it was.
And then when it's time to go to bed, we're all sitting out on the deck. We can smoke little Cuban cigars. Yeah. We can put a little bonfire going or something. And then when everybody goes like, "All right, you guys ready to pack it in?" It's like, yeah, go back to your houses and sleep in your beds like people.
I don't know. It was fun. I mean, Arie does it all the time. He's actually hikes and does it. Joe hikes a lot too. But
by himself, he goes?
They hike a lot, yeah. Because there's an app I have on my phone that you can just, wherever you are, type in, that shows you the trails around. Me and Arie last year for Just for Laughs, me, Arie, and Big J.
I remember.
We rented a cabin in the woods and we went hiking out there. From the back, we were supposed to go camping, but it was raining. It was all fucked up. But we planned this a year ago, and it was cool. We're gonna do it again. There's a waterfall one. We're gonna go up in the Catskills.
Are you gonna try to do it like Bushkill Party Boys?
Bushcraft Party Boys.
Right.
That is what it always will be, and we're gonna add somebody else to the. We're gonna add a fourth.
Are you going to camp in a cabin again, or are you going to go to Montreal and be Bush League Party Boys?
No, I think this year, the next time we go camping, I'm actually going to switch over to one of these, this hammock thing, because the tent thing on the ground, you have to, I don't know, they worry about like a fucking snake coming up and sleeping.
Hammock.
What happens if you
find a couple of redwoods?
You have to park in a parking lot and use the. All right, nice.
Why?
Yeah, no,
I thought I had it, but I didn't. Halfway through, I was like, I don't got it.
Do you ever go? You're in the woods and you're lost, and you're like, "Don't worry, I know the way home." And then you walk for 4 hours, and then you realize you walked in a circle.
That's how Tarantino's one of his editors died. Like that woman.
Is that right?
Susanna, whatever. Her name. She was like, one of his because his editors are amazing.
I see it in my movies.
I think she was his main editor.
That always happens in my movies.
I just saw the
Sally Menke. Yeah,
a lot of people die like that. Like they'll just hike and then get lost.
Yeah,
she went hiking with her dog in the severe heat, and she was 50. So I guess she just couldn't. Whatever. Maybe she had a heart attack.
Yeah. Guess what? AC in the house. It's perfect.
Yeah, I don't do that type of shit. I'm not fucking hiking the Appalachian Trail. I'm not doing any of that. I have a map on my phone. It actually records where I am. My wife can check it.
You ever hiked the Oregon Trail?
No, I did not.
I use a wagon. Caulk that shit every time. Caulk the wagon. Caulk it. Let's roll the dice, baby. Nice.
I don't do that crazy shit. I like hiking up a little bit, couple miles, maybe 3 miles.
4 hours, you like?
Maybe 4. We did 4 miles this one or something like that.
Is 4 hours the most you ever did away from civilization?
This staying over. I've done big hikes up in New Hampshire,
but this is the stupidest overnight one
I've always
you've
come
ever
back.
done.
Yeah, I've never hiked out and stayed. That was you can't think about it. And then all of a sudden, when the coyotes, as soon as the coyotes, I was like, oh, we have no help.
Right.
Like I can't just call. My phone doesn't work.
Dude, we got a raccoon that keeps knocking over our garbage can. You'll get the same wildlife in my backyard. I promise you that. It'll be the same experience.
Well, raccoons make a weird noise too.
Right.
There was one screaming in the middle of the night, and I was like, "What is that?"
They were screaming. You will let me know if those raccoons stop screaming. That was the original title of Silence for the Raccoons. It just didn't sell.
Like it doesn't work.
They were slaughtering the spring raccoons.
I used to collect raccoons.
They were like, why would anybody care if all the raccoons were getting slaughtered? It's fine.
You used to take the tails off to make a raccoon hat, Dr. Lecter.
What became of your raccoon? He bit me.
He bit me in aggression, and they had to put him down.
Raccoons are a menace. Nobody cares if they're slaughtered.
Oh, the worst.
The worst. I hate raccoons.
They just shot one across the street. The cops came and put a nice hot 22 in his fucking head.
Did they?
Yeah, I think it was a fucking rabbit.
Well, I was out in the daylight.
Yeah.
You got to shoot them if they're out in the daylight.
Why? I say that about certain people, too.
Because a rabbit?
Yeah, if raccoons are running around in the daylight or they're getting close to people, they're rabid.
Yeah. They shot a coyote in my neighborhood, too.
Coyote.
They are coyotes.
God, Junior, put your coyote on.
Yeah.
Yeah, they shot one of those in my neighborhood, too.
Wow.
Not a guarantee indicator of rabies. You see, raccoons are primarily nocturnal. They often do get some stuff done during the day. So basically, they murdered a raccoon.
They did. Yeah. Raccoon's like, I'm trying to go about my business.
Yeah, he was walking from point A to point B. He must be batshit crazy.
I have a lot to do today, and I happen to not be nocturnal at the moment.
Well, I found out that coyotes won't fuck. They'll take a child,
right,
or dogs or cats.
Right.
They're not gonna fuck with us.
Like
pretty much.
Small dogs.
Yeah. Oh, this fucked up video. This of this guy's dog was in the backyard, and this coyote hopped the fence. grabbed the dog, jumped over the fence, stood on the top with the dog around, just in its mouth, looked at the guy, and then just bye, dog gone.
Oh, that's so fucked up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Nicole Biggins from the Morning Mashup, her first dog died via coyote or some kind of bird or something like that.
Yeah.
They let the coyote go. I mean, they let the dog go, like run around in the woods or whatever.
Yeah.
And that was the end of that little poodle.
Oh, yeah.
A little toy, whatever it was, Pomeranian or whatever it was.
Oh, what a nice snack that is.
Oh, yeah. I got a big Labradoodle, so I don't think my dog's going to get fucked with.
Yeah,
by
bigger
coyotes.
dogs, they have a hard time. Like I found out after I did research, and it was like we were pretty all right. They were not going to fuck with us.
Yeah, but there's a lot of them. I'd be terrified.
There was probably around 4.
I'd be terrified.
5. Yeah, I was shitting my pants.
Right,
and I was more scared because Joe.
You had a shit pit right next to you, so you did not need to do that. But that's how scared you were.
I like the shit pit.
Yeah, I'm looking at these videos while Troy's playing where coyotes are attacking family pets, and one woman saved her dog. She ran out.
Yeah, that's
dope.
dope.
He was tearing the dog up.
Yeah,
and the dog.
Look at that! Look at that fucking thing.
There's big dumb ears.
Yeah, fuck a coyote.
How much does a coyote weigh though?
That's
50
small.
pounds?
That's actually a small one.
How much do those little rascals weigh? How much does a coyote
Coyotes weigh 60 or 70
Look at that!
pounds.
Look at that. Yeah, some of them are bigger than.
So
others.
they're not gonna. One coyote is not gonna take a Saint Bernard down.
No,
but
not
a
at
bunch
all.
of them could.
5
15 to 45.
Yeah.
Only
a pack
45
of them
pounds?
I guess.
My dog weighs like 60.
Did you see that video last week of the 2 lynxes yelling at each other?
Oh, let me see the lynxes yelling at each other.
I want to see the lynxes yelling
I'd
at
love
each
to
other.
see that. Yeah, it's like a Family Feud episode, but with lynxes.
What are they? What are they? Routers?
Which one of us has a name like on the Mod Squad? Lynxes.
Look at these lynxes.
It's like every relationship I've ever been in.
This is Jim Norton and Sam Roberts show prep meeting.
This is so freaking cool.
That's amazing.
It'd be great if you just heard 2 gunshots. A nice fucking coat made.
Nice feet, dick.
Oh my God! Look how long their feet are.
They really do.
Oh, they touched. The girl filming it freaked out a little bit.
They're in a car though, right?
Yeah. So they touched heads for a moment.
And then swatted.
They keep bowing their heads next to each other and then they don't touch. But the minute that they touch, they freak out.
Would they let you pet them right
That
now?
looks like every fight in the West Village on a Saturday night.
They're starting to chill out, I think. Like, what are we fighting about, really?
Yeah, come on, guys. It's just a piece of pussy. It's nature. We'll share it.
You think that's what it is? I love that.
Wow.
That's insane.
It's amazing.
That's pretty cool.
But that's I don't know. Like I understand videotaping it if you're from a car, but these people that videotape, the one guy that got killed trying to get a selfie with a black bear.
Love that.
Oh, I love that he got fucking mauled.
I love when people are like take these dumb risks and then they don't pay off. There is no upside to this.
If I see a black bear, I am slowly backing the fuck away from it.
We were driving to the those outlets we were talking about, Woodbury Commons once.
Love Woodbury Commons.
Oh,
Right.
it stinks.
And you don't
like them?
I hate
They're
Woodbury
awful.
fucking Commons.
What did you
and
go
the
by
traffic-
yourself?
It's one of the shittiest places on
Wow,
earth.
this bear is ripping this guy up.
Yeah, that's. Oh my god. Yeah,
It's a black bear,
idiot.
dummy.
But we were driving.
He died.
We were driving on the way, right? And you could see, like, there's like it's a mountainous terrain as you're driving towards Woodbury Commons. And we looked out the window, and there was a little baby bear, just in plain eyesight of everybody, by itself, walking on like the walking and bike path that's right there in the woods. And all I could think about was just how fucked you would be if you came across that thing as you were walking.
Ew.
No, not like no, I meant like metaphorically. Yeah,
No, but the mother's probably not far behind. Unless the bear's going to
Would that-
Woodbury Commons.
could be looking for
Maybe,
discounts.
maybe there's a sale.
Might be, yeah, looking for little bear pants.
This fucking idiot was trying to get his camera back too.
Good.
What a dummy.
Good.
Which guy?
The guy with the stupid. He's trying to pull his camera away from the bear.
I'm glad he's no longer with us. Like that.
Maybe
bear,
maybe the bear had his sleeve or something. Maybe it was wrapped
no,
up.
he had it. Oh, look at
It's
that.
so funny how nobody's helping him. No, like there's a lot of people there. There's a
that
dog.
cat, that stupid cat
Oh,
or
the-
dog or
the
whatever
dog.
it is helping him.
Nobody is helping him, and the bear doesn't give a fuck that all these people are watching. Someone's just filming it.
Of course, the bear doesn't care. This is what bears do.
Yeah, fuck that.
No way.
Fuck that.
They
No.
did kill him too, right?
Like that Bear Man documentary.
Yeah, right there.
I'm not
He's
upset
dead.
that the
Look
guy
at
who
that.
did the Bear Man documentary ended up getting eaten by a bear.
Well,
Good,
neither is
good.
he. That's what he wanted.
Look at the dog's just hanging out.
Don't
Just to
hang
be
out
in
with
a-
bears.
A big fucking shit pit, a bear shit pit.
Right, exactly. That's your life. That's your life's work. You're now in a bear shit pit.
What about the guy who got attacked by a grizzly twice and then made it out, walked 4 miles with just his head sliced open, his arm broken, and made it to the hospital?
He survived?
Survived.
Yeah, I think I've
He's
seen
the
like
man.
giant gashes in his head, right?
And he's literally going, dude, he's like videotaping it, going, I just got fucked up by a grizzly twice.
He's the man then, if he survived.
Yeah. It's like people who survive. Oh, yeah, I've
That's
seen
him.
this guy.
Yeah.
Life sucks in bear country. Just had a grizzly
His
with
head, that's his head
cubs
hanging off.
come at me from about 80 yards.
Put his hat back on, though.
And I sprayed the shit out of her with bear spray. And then I went on my face and protected the back of my neck. She got my head good. I don't know what's under my hat. My ear, my arm.
Oh, gosh. Oh, my goodness.
Pieces of stuff hanging out.
Yeah, don't get in a fight with a bear, dude.
And then my shoulder.
This is you, Bob.
My arm's broke.
No, this is brown bears. It's a brown bear.
Have fun camping, Bob.
That's
This
a
is
brown
you.
bear.
This is your life now.
Dude, I have bear bells.
Do you know what makes bear
That's terrible.
bells?
Yeah, I have a bear bell on my bag. Ding-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling.
Do you know what makes human beings the top of the food chain?
The beer that scares the
Yeah,
bear.
cities.
Yeah, exactly.
And cars.
We learned how to
and
make
guns.
shelter and transportation and tools.
I have a shelter. I'm gonna get a nice fucking hammock tent. Lay like a fucking brajol right in the tree. Nice Italian fat meat hanging off of that bear.
That's right.
Do you understand? You're the stuff that bear legends are made of.
Yeah, I mean, it's a fucking gabagool hanging out of the fucking.
Oh my god! And how much did he weigh? 420.
I walked up, there was a prosciutto hanging out of the tree.
Yeah.
Bears would actually, you'd actually see bears pulling their cell phones out, filming you. Like, I can't believe our good luck.
Yeah.
They'd be tweeting. We just found an Italian deli.
Guys, come here. Let's kill this.
Joe List and Arie Shaffir would have so much time to get away.
Oh my god, they could actually fold their tents up.
They go right. The bears would go right past Arie. What is that? Fucking gefilte fish? We're good.
They would strategize when they
Fucking
saw you
Arie,
were there.
Arie's fucking does not care. This cocksucker would just. I'm standing there taking a piss in the morning after the night we had. I just look over. Arie's standing 10 feet away from me, just naked with shoes, and his big fat meaty. He's got a big fat meaty hog. You can't help but look at it because it's just like, wow, that's on you. Oh, it's fucking awful.
Just want to talk about his dick a little bit.
Yeah, I just want to talk about Arie's dick.
Yeah.
You ever see
Big fat meaty. How many adjectives are you going to throw in front of this gift?
Delicious. Hang on. Actually, guys, we just go up there and fuck each other.
Yeah,
Bushcraft party was. We go up there and suck each other off in one small tent.
Well,
There wasn't coyotes. It was just Arie screaming.
Yeah. We have our guests are here.
Oh,
Brian
geez.
Koppelman. How do you say David's last name? Levien?
I would say so.
Big Jew.
Well, we'll find out.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, we'll get to the bottom of that for sure.
I want papers.
Hello, guys.
What's going on, man? What's up, dude?
Welcome.
Hi.
You're on the air. How you doing, buddy? Welcome to
doing?
the show. Hello. What? How do I pronounce? It's Brian Koppelman and David Levien. Am I saying it right?
Levien.
Levien. It is Levien. Okay.
Yes, welcome, guys. The creators of Billions on Showtime, back for season 3, and I don't know. This was one of those shows that I know I started last season. I didn't know for sure if I was going to be into it or what. I didn't even really know what it was, to tell you the truth. And I did the right thing, which is go on the Showtime app and go back to the first episode and just slammed through it until I was completely up to speed. It is amazing. I love Billions.
Thanks, man.
Thanks, man.
That's
yeah,
great.
of course.
What did you guys collaborate on? Did you guys have done collaborative for a long time? What was something you collaborated on right before this that didn't go, and you're like, "Fuck," and then all of a sudden you have this?
Oh,
Well, it did go, unfortunately.
Oh, it did go. Okay.
Yeah.
What was that?
It was called Runner Runner.
What's
It was
that?
a disaster of a movie.
The Oscar Pistorius story. Now, what is it about?
I wish. It was about offshore gambling, those websites.
Yeah.
And it starred Justin Timberlake and Ben Affleck.
Oh, boy.
But it was just one of those things that didn't come out the way we wanted it to.
Did you lose control of it, or did you guys do it and you let them do it and they just fucked it up?
Well, we can't give all the blame to anybody else. We
Sure.
fucked up too.
Okay.
But yeah, they it was just a movie that ended up not working. But also at the same time, we were supposed to go make a different show, and Runner bombed. Then we made a good movie. We made the Jimmy Connors 30 for 30, which is really great, and people loved it.
Nice pivot.
Thank you. But then I'm going to tell the other story. I'm going to tell the other story. Then we were supposed to be the showrunners of the show Vinyl on HBO. They hired us, and then we got fired before we even wrote because they decided they didn't like us.
How?
Wait, well, what happened? Were you dealing with Scorsese or no?
Directly. We love him. He's a god to us still.
Yes.
But I think we like him more than he likes us.
Mm.
And
did he have you fired?
Well, I mean,
It's his
what did he
show.
do? He had someone stick, like, what happened to Maury?
Don't get a bell, fucking Danish for bell.
Exactly right. I don't know how it happens. Suddenly you got the ice pick in your neck and you're done. It's black. It's over.
What did you do, though, before the show hasn't started yet? So what do you do that makes him not like you and go like, these are not the guys?
I think I made one too many ice pick jokes, probably.
Or you're like, you know what? I think Ordinary People was Best Picture. He's like, get rid of these cocksuckers.
No, that's the worst insult of all. I wrote an article for Bill Simmons that said that the worst disgrace in Oscar history was Dances with Wolves beating Goodfellas. And it didn't matter. I'd written it like right before we met him, still, ice pick.
He didn't care.
Out of that, we got real angry about the fact that this movie we made was a disaster, and then we got fired off of this other show. And that's in the sort of anger of that, we went and wrote Billions.
Vinyl was a
changed
great
our
show
lives.
too, but if it sparked you into doing this, then
Yeah, but somehow that
more
one
worth it.
that one's off the air and ours stayed on.
Billions
the air.
is still on, right? Did it just start season 3? Is that right?
Yeah.
Indeed, that's nice. That's nice.
Was it a cost issue with? I heard vinyl was very expensive too. It's one of the reasons they dumped it. But that's why they dumped, I think, Rome. It cost like a shitload of money, and HBO just if it costs too much, they throw it out.
Vinyl also had like all these like weird elements to it, where it could have just been a really interesting show about 70s rock and the recording industry and the radio industry and all this stuff, but like when the building's falling down and the guy survives it and all this stuff, it's like I didn't need all this other stuff added to it. You had your show already, you know?
How much freedom does Showtime give you guys? Is it complete freedom, or do they step in once in a while?
No, those guys are great. We love working with Showtime. They're so supportive of our show. Right from the beginning, when we sold them our script, they got behind this thing, and we've just been making the same show. That's the key. You know, everybody's rowing in the same direction.
Right.
And they're the best.
So what's because I was thinking about it, and I always like wonder, with a show like that, you need to have expertise in the financial industry. You need to have expertise in how the government handles things. You need to have expertise in bondage and that whole like S&M lifestyle. Like, did you have that all in your head? Do you have to research a ton because you have this loose idea? Like, how does it...
He wants to ask you if you've ever been tinkled on. That's a fair question.
that might be the only area that we have a complete mastery.
Luckily, we're in a room with Jim Norton, so it's covered. I mean,
absolutely. I have gargling tips with it.
Yeah. After 20 years in Hollywood, you're used to it, you know?
But, yeah, I mean, we did a lot of research, like a ton of research. And the BDSM stuff, we found this woman named Troy. We named the character
So
Troy.
we have
a woman named Troy right over there. Yeah.
And was great because she's a professional dom, but also has like a fucking PhD, and for real, and was able to really explain to us everything about how people in the lifestyle think, so that we weren't going to objectify these people, but we're going to try to really understand what it is in them that really gets off on this. So we spent a good amount of time with Troy. And then when we shot the first season's scenes, she came to the scenes and worked with the actors. We did special rehearsals with the actors and her so that they could all talk. Yeah, because we want to get it right.
Yes.
You know, and then people in the lifestyle, it's amazing how they wrote to us and thanked us for not treating them like freaks at all, but in fact showing, hey, this is just a part of these people's marriage. This is in the same way that people who have like vanilla sex, that's a part of their marriage. This is the way that these people live. And that was fucking rewarding to us as much as getting notes from the hedge fund dudes. I mean, the difference is the hedge fund guys will then fly on their plane somewhere to thank you. The BDSM people offer to pee on you, but like, it was super rewarding.
What was shocked you the most? Like what did you thought about the BDSM lifestyle? Like, what did you learn from her that you're like, oh shit, I wouldn't have done that?
You know, it even goes back before Billions. We did this movie called The Girlfriend Experience with Steven Soderbergh, and we were interviewing a lot of these escorts, and they would say they all seem to have these Fortune 500 CEOs as clients because they're super expensive and they get these powerful guys, and they say the more powerful the guy is, the more invariably he wants to be dominated.
Oh, yeah.
He wants to, you know, turn that power thing off and be on the other end of it in his private life.
I guess women are the same way too. They probably have the same thing where the more dominant. It's funny. The biggest, kinkiest women I've known were school teachers. One was a cop. Like it's these powerful, smart people.
Yeah, so we had this idea that this guy, Chuck Rhodes, U.S. attorney, super powerful, spends all day basically deciding who he's going to prosecute, doling out punishment being the word of law and order. And when he gets behind closed doors, he wants to reverse that.
Right. Yeah, and it's really interesting because first time I remember like on a show like this where the relationship dynamic is part of it. It's not this kind of wacky like he's gonna put leather on. It's like this. They're married, but they do bondage stuff, and they have this like agreement where they don't do stuff without each other unless there's permission. But like the relationship dynamic is such a big part of it, which is what makes it interesting and also relatable to somebody who's not in that lifestyle.
Yeah, I've been talking.
That's why you like the leather strap matches in the old wrestling.
That's right.
That's for the same thing when the two guys would have to have the strap between them.
Right. My first exposure to BDSM was the Indian strap match.
Joe the Butcher in the strap match.
That's right. Just watching people whip each other with leather straps. I was like, yeah, this is entertainment.
It is interesting in that lifestyle, like what can fuck you up, what the lines are, like what's acceptable, what's not acceptable. Like, hey, that's cheating. Don't do that. But no, that's okay because this one's in the room. There's really it's like a maze of rules.
Yeah.
Well, and these characters follow them. I mean, their relationship, they've given a lot of thought, and they went into this very consciously. And so, like people do in that life, right? And they're aware of it. And of course, it's only it takes up a small amount of the screen time of the show. Like in the first 2 seasons, what do you think? We had 4 real scenes.
I think about 4, yeah.
Of that, but it informs so much about the rest of their life together and about who they are. And Dave's right. It's one of the things when you do this stuff, as I'm sure with you, like I've seen you do stand up since, I remember one time in 2004 or 5 seeing you a whole bunch of times in a row. Like, and I know people carry bits or ideas and work on them. You might abandon something for 3 years and then something happens in a club one night and it comes back and it changes. And so we had been working on how to deploy this knowledge we had about these people for a long time before we found the
And we
home
were
for
interested
it.
in the idea of like a long-term marriage, a mature marriage, a relationship where people had to make accommodations for each other. Because we felt like we'd seen a lot of promiscuity and cheating and stuff like that on TV, but it was like, what if these people turned all those impulses into their relationship? What would happen?
You don't want to make a caricature of people. You want it to be the way, which is great. Because we've seen the caricature a million times, like, ooh, naughty boy. Ugh.
Right.
Yeah, and also, once Vito Spatafore dressed up in the leather.
That was a joke!
I was just saying, once that happened.
One of the greatest scenes ever was them fucking that awful hat. Oh, my God.
He's just dancing
my problem
around.
is I'm such a fat fuck that all I took away from it was I wanted a recipe for Johnny cakes. I swear to God, I just tried for years to make good Johnny cakes.
Is that a real diner? Because we're going to New Hampshire.
That guy killed himself. The actor who played Johnny Cakes killed himself.
He did?
Yeah.
Really?
He shot himself, yeah. And I guess because that became so iconic, Johnny Cakes, I wonder if that haunted him and he hated it.
Like he's just Johnny Cakes wherever he goes.
Like
couldn't escape it.
Yeah, is that one of those things that just sticks with you?
He could also just shave the mustache instead of killing himself.
Absolutely.
There's one step before killing yourself.
Right.
Shave the mustache, dye your hair.
See how it goes.
Yeah.
Not that fucking famous. I mean,
Even Michael Richards kept going.
I know. I'm trying to open for him still.
Did you worry about that at all when you have the lead on Billions who just came off of Homeland, right? So like, do you worry that like they're going to see him as Brody from Homeland? They're not going to be able to see him as this, or no?
Yeah.
You didn't.
We like to worry about everything, but I don't think we worried about that one. We just thought that he was a great actor.
Yeah.
It'd been a couple of years since he'd been on, and we knew that he'd be just a completely different character. As Brody, he was sort of the guy who was the most reactive. Everybody did things and it affected him.
Mm-hmm.
As Bobby Axelrod, he's the smartest guy in the room. He's driving the action.
Yeah.
So we felt he'd be seen really differently.
I think you kind of learned that also early. Like we've been doing this a long time. Our first movie was Rounders and came out in 1998. And we learned shortly. I remember casting certain people in that movie and wondering, well, wait, aren't people going to think that they're like Edward Norton had just come off Primal Fear? We really wanted him in the movie, and there were other people who thought like, well, how are they going to believe him as this guy? And you learn right away, well, actors are actors.
Yeah.
Look, that's their gift.
Right.
I mean, that's the thing that they do. They transform themselves, and they make themselves into this next 2 seconds in, he's Bob. And I think now with Damian Lewis, I know people call out to him, and they call out Bobby Axelrod much more than Brody. I remember the first season, some friend of my sister's kid asked if he could come by, and he walks on. I was like, yeah, but you got to be really quiet. Don't say any. I know you remember with his Long Island accent, the kid came on set, and he just started screaming, Brody, fucking Brody. And we were like, that's not the show we're making. Thank you. But now people shout. Yeah, that's super, right during a scene, too.
How old was the kid?
Dude, he was like 16. He was the worst. He was like 16. Right in the middle of the scene we're shooting. Wow. And then I had to, and I knew he was with my
No, it
niece.
was actually Dan Soder.
That's exactly right.
He can't help himself.
Still. Oh yeah, we love Dan Soder's the greatest.
Yeah.
That's so weird seeing him on. I started doing open mics with him, and seeing him on a real TV show is insane.
Me too. I did open mics with him.
Oh yeah?
Dan and I met the first day he was in New York.
Wow.
In one of Daniela Walls's open mics at Stand Up New York.
Holy shit.
And then Dan and I, in those open mics, they're basically two sane people.
Yeah.
Everybody else is crazy.
Yeah.
And so you immediately are like, well, I think that dude might be the other not totally crazy person.
I'll bond with him.
Yeah, and I became like a big brother to him.
Oh,
from
hey,
like
he needed
early
it.
on, and then- yeah.
I wanted to ask you too about your podcast. It's called At the Moment.
Yeah.
And you can you describe what that is? Because it's a real genius idea for a podcast.
Thanks. I'm interested in like what I call inflection points, these moments of great change in people's lives when everything either could have gone really well or really poorly for them, and how they process it. So like, how do you process a huge moment of failure? Because it's usually people who are now successful. They've made the most of their like creative impulses. But like, what happens when it all fell apart? When you get fired by Martin Scorsese or whatever the other thing is, how do you put yourself back together? Or like, I remember talking to Seth Meyers the week that his show launched, and he was on the cover like Springsteen of Time and Newsweek. And I was like, when something amazing like that happens, a lot of people blow it.
That's right.
How do you not blow it? How do you channel it for good?
Who's someone that blew it that you talked to that had that and blew it?
Opie.
You know what? He blew the one show, but he had the fucking.
No, I'm joking.
No, but I mean, you're actually not wrong. But he's a guy who like made a go of it for a while.
Oh yeah.
Kind of fucking.
Well, I think what you're trying to get to is that I made Big J Okerson cry on the show.
I heard that one.
And
did you really?
Yeah.
Oh,
Why?
yeah.
Do you actually point out his gloves?
People could have fingers on their gloves.
It was the jean shorts.
Yes, I told him he was over 30 with those.
Yeah.
But not yet 75. And so, no, I had said something on another pod. I love Jay.
Yes.
I've known Jay forever and ever.
Hilarious.
And on another podcast, I guess with maybe Schumer and I were talking, I said something about how Jay was like, had the potential to be the top headliner that there was. And this is before Bonfire and before whatever. I don't know. Somehow I said something that got right to the heart of where, so he wanted to come. I heard he was upset. So I was like, come, let's talk about it on the podcast. And then he broke down on the pod talking about sort of like where he found himself in this moment in time. And it was great too, because I mean, when he cried, the Legion of Skanks people just were merciless on
Did they give him a teasing about that?
A 2-hour show. Didn't they do like a 2-hour episode where they kept playing the clip over and over?
Oh yeah, him crying, and then
So
and then
sick.
Dan. I had to have Dan come in because part of it was him talking about his relationship with Dan, and then I had to have Dan come in and then mediate between the two of them as the whole thing came together. But essentially, it was like about Jay finding his voice and this question of work ethic versus talent. By the end of which I realized I was wrong. He was working as hard as anybody, and it was that perception that bothered him. But also, like, I'll have athletes on, and I've talked to them about a moment where they didn't win, or almost everyone who succeeds at what we do has a story of a movie that bombed, a failure. My friend John Hamburg, our friend who wrote and directed I Love You, Man, and Along Came Polly, one of the most successful comedy screenwriters. I mean, his first movie wasn't a hit, and he talks about what that felt like and how he had to sort of rebuild. Or Doug Allen, the guy who created Entourage, had a gigantic failure before Entourage.
What was it? Do you know?
Yeah,
I think it was called Fat Beach. PH.
Who could have seen that being a failure?
That sounds like a fun place to go. What happened on Fat Beach?
At least it ages well.
What happened? Do you remember what Doug said?
I think that the movie just didn't do well.
Oh, it was a
And
movie.
he had to reinvent himself.
Yeah, and he felt like it's a great one to listen to because obviously then he had this enormous success, but he had the experience.
It was a vehicle to launch Coolio into the acting world.
Oh, I remember this cover.
How did that not
The Coolio crossover.
Right.
And he had the experience of like on the Friday, everyone's saying the true Hollywood thing of on a Friday, everybody's saying to him,
You're the
on
biggest
Monday
thing
your
in
career is going to be different. You're the biggest thing in Hollywood. They're offering him all these movies, and he said that on the Monday after the movie bombed, his agent wouldn't call him back, his manager wouldn't call him back, all the producers canceled every meeting, and he was just completely alone, and he was really young, so he'd like bought himself a car or a house, and then he had to figure out, well, what do I do if no one returns my calls? And it was like, well, I better write the next thing. And then he just like, but I'm sure for him, I mean, now when he tells it, it's great because this guy who made all that money and had that huge success, but he was just fucking broken by it and had to figure out how to put himself back together. I hadn't thought of that episode in a long time, but it's a great one to listen to.
How did Coolio's movie not work? That sounds like a great concept for a film. Coolio, a beach. I mean, you're 2 for 2.
Did you go see it, Jim?
I did not.
You missed
that might be part of the.
But I'm going to now.
Mark, did you see it?
No, I have it on tape.
Sam?
Right, no, I'm waiting.
Troy?
I'm waiting. No.
Nobody. So I think we're getting to the heart of what the problem is.
How long into a bomb? How long into a bomb when you release a film? It's a bomb. How long into it? Because you're watching the numbers. Do you realize? Oh no, it's a bomb.
Oh,
is
you
it the
just
first
know
day?
so quickly now?
You do.
Yeah, you know very quickly.
But do you know, like on the Saturday, like maybe it could be a bad Friday. I bet Saturday will pick up. And
No, I mean, no. You're talking to a couple of Long Island Jews. Those accounting visors are like, we're born with that. We immediately just
Do you
can
know,
tell the numbers.
as filmmakers, I went to film school and I bombed out the whole thing. But do you guys know during a movie in the middle, like, this is going to be bad, but we have to keep going? It's kind of like a marriage where you're at the altar, like, I got to say yes,
Everyone's watching. Yeah,
I'm committed to this.
Right.
Yeah.
Or do you kind of go, like when you're making Rounders, I love Rounders, in the middle where you're like, this is going to be fucking awesome. Like, do you know?
Runner. I mean,
well, we thought the movie was going well, and we thought it was going to turn out well. That wasn't a box office smash when it came out. I mean, that movie didn't do well. It's become like a beloved movie now. I think when a movie's good, it doesn't mean it's going to work out, but you're sure when it's bad.
Yeah. We knew for sure on Runner midway through the shoot of that movie.
Oh,
I mean,
my
the
God.
second day. In a bar
The
sometime.
first day, let's be honest.
What happened the second day?
The very first day we knew the movie was a disaster. Well, I mean, a couple things happened. You can make these little decisions. I mean, you went to film school. The movie was supposed to be about a guy who was like an offshore, running an offshore gambling company, poker company, and the way those guys dress is like worse than I am now, like in a hoodie and a ripped T-shirt and jeans. They're guys who are expats, right? They left the country. They're working in some gambling place. They're rolling out of bed after a night of getting fucked up and maybe finding a local girl, and they're stumbling in, but they're real smart, so they're able to get by. They're at their computer, and then we get the first day, and they got Timberlake in these linen suits and everything, and we're like, well, what's he doing in the linen suit? He works, no one's going to see him all day. He's in a cubicle, and they're like, well, yeah, but it's Justin Timberlake. We got to make him look bad. And then you just know immediately, well, now there are 1,000 decisions that follow the suit decision. They're going to do 1,000 different things to the movie where it's not going to feel like what's supposed to be. It's going to feel like bullshit suddenly.
Yes.
And that plus the director admitted to us on the first day, because fuck it, Dave. On the first day, the director admitted to us he's directing a crime movie, and he admits to us he never saw The Godfather 2.
No.
Well, the third was the best one anyway. I mean, I'm not.
And we looked at each. I swear to God, like if you're going to be a filmmaker, you have to have seen the 10 best movies of all time. Like,
So in that scenario, do you want to just be like, I know we're not, but we just need to direct this thing. Like we need to have autonomy over this stuff. Or do you not want to direct?
No, we didn't want that movie, but we knew the next thing we were going to have.
You just needed to have control.
I've never seen Godfather 2. I won't fuck a girl if she hasn't seen The Godfather 2.
Yeah, it was one.
You also won't fuck a girl if she was alive when it came out.
That's or 3.
It was one of the craziest moments of our professional lives. It was. We looked at each other, and we thought the guy was joking.
So when you have when you fail a couple times, when you have a bad movie and you get fired by Scorsese, but you got success before that, do you worry like, oh my God, is this the end of the run? Or do you just say like, okay, back to work, we're going to figure the next thing out?
Yeah, you got to reload. You just got to sort of get rid of those feelings that it might be the end of the run.
But they do creep in on you if you're not careful.
You got to just try to get the swing thought out and reload.
But yes, it's totally true. Sorry, I'm going the whole way with this now. We're standing on this dock. We're shooting this scene. And the guy was trying to make a reference to Michael Corleone. I'm going to tell you guys how this happened. You're not going to believe it. I've never ever told the story. The guy's going to make wants the character to make a reference to a guy and call him like, oh, he's like Michael Corleone. And the thing is, the character, Justin's character, doesn't yet know that Affleck's character is bad. He thinks Affleck's character is a good guy. And we're like, well, if he calls him Michael Corleone this early in the movie, then you're going to sort of, you're going to ruin the gag. You're going to admit, you're going to see that he knows he's a bad guy. And the director goes, nah, man, Michael Corleone is just cool. You know what I mean? He's cool. He's not bad. Like, he's cool. He's good. And I go, well, no, but he kills his own brother, you know. And the guy goes,
spoiler.
Nah, man, he's dope. He doesn't kill anybody. Like, he kills those bad guys who killed his dad. And I'm like, no, he kills his brother, you know, because Godfather 2. And that's when he goes, oh, I ain't seen that shit yet.
Oh my God!
Yet?
Yes,
Like,
I haven't gotten around to it.
1974. What are you waiting for?
And we just knew. So that's when you asked when we knew. We just looked at each other like, well, put this one in the lost column.
I ain't seen that shit yet.
Yeah,
Dave, am I any of that bullshit?
Hasidic Jewish guy. Huh?
Wait,
100% true.
That's 100% true.
So wait, did you did you go with the Michael Corleone? Or did you say, look,
that moment's cut out of the movie.
You just gave up at that point.
No,
Just
the moment's out of the movie. Like, we got rid of the Michael Corleone line, but then we knew. I swear, like, we literally, I remember calling home and just saying, well, this is over. This is a disaster.
When you have a movie like that, are you not interested in seeing it at all? Like, you know it's going to be bad. You got to go to the premiere, obviously, to try to show some support. But do you want to just shut your eyes and be like, I don't want to see this movie?
Well, no, you stay with it. We saw it 100 times. We ended up being involved in editing.
And you had to go to the premiere?
You try to save it.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Whatever you can do.
The director everyone got snowed by the thing. And I don't want to blame, it's not fully the director's fault. Like, because here's the thing. It was our vision and then the director's vision. And he didn't get to just totally make his movie because he had to deal with us fucking assholes. And we didn't totally get to make the movie because we had to deal with him. So I can't fully blame him.
Sure.
Like, maybe if he got to just live and make his own thing, it would have worked. But at a certain point, when his version of the movie tested very poorly, they asked us and Ben to come save it. So then they brought us in to try to recut the movie, which wasn't possible.
If we were to have him on the show, he'd probably be like, yeah, these two fucking writers were just on my back the entire
100%.
goddamn time.
Sure. He'd be right, too, by the way.
Yeah.
Well, did you guys write?
But we've seen The Godfather, too.
Did you write? Did you write vinyl or no?
No, never wrote a word.
So did you know? Was there any indication that Marty wasn't happy with you?
No, the guy's so nice and cordial.
No, we love
Who
him.
knows
For
what
real,
happened?
like, obviously, I don't care. I'll say anything. No, that guy's a superhero and remained. It was a total gentleman. It wasn't, it wasn't really Marty who stuck the ice pick in our necks. There was there was another person involved in the thing. And I guess in the end, Marty had to probably nod and say it was okay for us to be off of it. But he was amazing. Every time we met with that guy, we walked out of there. It was the opposite of the runner experience. Like, this is the greatest. What was so heartbreaking to get fired from vinyl was that Martin Scorsese is our great hero.
Sure.
And was.
Did you ever see Casino?
Oh, no, not yet. Not yet. Very soon.
Soon, yeah.
Heard good things.
We mean to see it.
By the way, is the lighting anything better than the lighting in Casino when Pesci's going to get a blowjob in the car and it's fucking well lit? He's talking about tenderizing veal.
That moment when he puts his, when he makes Sharon Stone.
Yes.
Oh, Sharon, I'm talking about the car.
But the second with Sharon Stone.
You need a sponsor?
Oh my God.
Yeah, she's crying.
Fuck, she's awesome. She even ran like a fucking crazy psychotic person. She was so good in that.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah. The first time when Ace is describing how he's trusting her with the key to the goal. I mean, it's just amazing.
It's watching a man make such a stupid error.
No.
What are you doing? Lester Diamond is a big dick.
Lester, and it's funny because it turns out Lester Diamond is the very best of James Woods. That's him at his absolute. Oh, that's him being the best person he knows how to be.
Did you ever hear about that though? Rumor off subject. He has a giant penis. I've heard that rumor.
I've heard that as well.
Yes.
So they say.
Yeah.
Yes, I've definitely heard that rumor.
Just figure out throw my little hat in the ring.
Does it? So when you're going through that part of the movie not doing well and getting fired and everything, and people are like, oh yeah, fuck those guys, and then you come up with something great like Billions, and everybody's like, yeah, those guys are the greatest. Are you go like, Fuck you guys.
Yeah, do you have a list of
That is
people?
the best question. Go ahead,
There's a
Dave.
lot of that. I mean, you're so aware of the people that only call when your stock is high,
Right.
And when you're scoring, and then when you go cold, those people disappear.
Right.
We know who all those people are. It's so obvious. The emails keep the trail.
And now, do you
It's totally true.
Do you call them out, or do you be like, I know what you're like? I know, I just know.
You just know. We're
Yeah,
too
what
old to
Hollywood
call
is
them out.
so
I think.
obvious. What Dave said is so true. Like there are a handful of people who you can track it. Like when Ocean's 13 came out and was a hit movie, when we got hired for that movie, and we whatever that Monday, those people call and like, hey, next time you're in LA, can we sit down, whatever, and then. Yeah, they just totally disappear. They go into the vapor for all the other years. Of course,
Right.
you notice because it's you. They're making 1,000 calls, but you guys are artists. You do that like it's your whole life,
Right.
Is on the line. So you're fully aware of who's there to give you a lifeline and who's totally not. And you don't even have to say it to them. It's just like you just don't go see those people. I mean,
Right.
Right.
I know
those people are
exactly
out
what
of
your
life.
intentions are.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're just out of your
The
life.
best part of my agent is they don't call when I succeed or fail. So it's great.
Well, yeah, they're blissfully unaware.
They're
That's
consistent.
also a great show business tradition.
Yeah, just completely ignore you.
You get that with girls too. After a Fallon, I'll get all these tweets and stuff from girls. And I'm like, where were you in high school? I'm the same guy.
Right.
I'm talking about
Right.
being a loser on Fallon, and that you're into. But not
Were you
before
that fun? Were you as funny in high school though?
I think I was funnier.
All right. And
But I don't. It doesn't matter. That doesn't bother me. Like if someone I'm hooking up with is only because of this, that's fine.
I'm the same way.
I don't bring a whole lot physically to the table. I mean, I'm not deluded about what I'm showing up with.
A billionaire that we talk to who advises us on our show, and he says to his kids, "Listen, you're a very rich guy because of me. I'm giving you a lot of money. If the girls come to you for that, that's fine. Don't worry about it. You're with her because she's hot."
Right.
That's right. We're both kind of going into that for when I'm not looking at your soul if I'm
Right.
just in love with your body. So yeah, I have no problem with that too.
Both shallow in different ways.
Yeah, she just likes you because you got money. Good. That's why I work so hard.
Yes.
That's why I got it.
that's why it works so hard.
It's the whole point, right? Just a single dude. What do you need money for if it's not for that?
Exactly. I mean, my personal needs are very low. I mean, it's all smoke and mirrors to hide the fact I have an appendix scar.
That's what that was.
By the way, I was very jealous when I found out there's a scene in Billions where Dan Soder's character gets a gift, which is this amazing WWE poster that's signed by a couple of the guys. And I was texting Soder about it. And he texted me back, when the episode aired, I was texting him, and he texted me back a photo of the poster, and he goes, not only did I get to keep it, it's actually signed in real life.
Wow.
It's a legit
Who signed
thing.
it?
Undertaker and Mick Foley.
Oh wow.
I like
man.
those guys.
You do?
Oh, yeah.
The Undertaker. You always said the Undertaker's not very is average.
No, I've actually spoken very highly of the Undertaker, as history would dictate.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're not an underseller guy. You don't think he's the underseller?
I don't think so. No, I'm an Undertaker fan.
Me too.
Yeah.
He's like one of the all-time.
Amazing. Like just the character that he was able to make work for all those years. Like nobody's able to do that. What did you think of Bill Simmons' HBO Andre the Giant documentary? I think it's going to air in a week or
10
so.
days maybe. I loved it.
Wasn't it amazing?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
loved it.
Well, you guys, I haven't seen it. It hasn't aired yet, or it has?
It has not aired yet, but I met him at a screening they did.
Oh, okay.
They had a special screening for wrestling nerds, I guess.
That's what it was.
No guessing about it. That's what yes, for complete loser wrestling people, like 51-year-old men like me who are still just like, do you think Zbyszko San Martino the second time was a work or a shoot? Wasn't there a moment in it that was a shoot? Just this one moment?
I just love that you were like, so you don't think he's the underseller, huh? You think he's which is just totally dork wrestling lingo, like
So inside.
But I
Yeah.
can have that conversation for
I'm a
years.
big, I'm a Chief J. Strombo guy myself.
Him and Billy White Wolf. What's better than that?
You should.
When the third executioner came into the ring in the match against them, it was one of the biggest moments in wrestling up to that point.
I don't remember
Killer
that.
Kowalski came from under that, and he was the third
Right.
executioner.
You should tell Brian who your favorite promo guy is of all time.
Bob Backlund?
That's amazing.
Sure.
Yeah.
He's heavy breathing. Well, Vince, I tell you, it's going to be a great match. And just giving real wrestling things.
Yeah.
Oh.
No, I figured Dusty Rhodes is the only legitimate answer to that
I
question.
did enjoy Dusty Rhodes.
Jim
Yeah,
always
I
liked
did. The American Dream.
that Bob Backlund would be understated and appropriate for
That's
the time.
right. And he would knee walk. If you don't like a knee walk, you're just a communist.
Communist.
So you're not a wrestling fan at all?
I'm I just dabble in wrestling, but I'm not a professional fan like you guys.
Same.
So do you pick it up when Brian tries to like sneak stuff into your projects?
No, I'm all for it. And in fact, occasionally I'll throw the wrestling line in because I know he'll be reading the scene. And, I just want to amuse him.
Right. Yeah, basically, when we're writing the show, we're just trying to make the other guy laugh. We've been like brothers, best friends since we're 14, the two of us.
Wow.
So we're constantly just trying to crack the other guy up when we write. And our dark, particular, our own sense of humor might not be funny to anybody else. So, yeah, he'll throw in something that or I'll throw in an obscure boxing reference for him. And because he's a huge boxing guy. Dave's grandfather fought Joe Louis.
Oh, wow.
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 That's amazing.
Did he win?
He's a famous champion, in fact.
No,
he didn't win.
How now was Lewis champion at this point or no?
He was, yeah. He was about to go into the Army, so he wanted to book a bunch of fights. And the promoters came to my grandfather and said, he was like 19 years old. They said, "You'll be at the Garden on this date to fight Joe Louis." And his handler said, "Well, the kid needs another year." And they said, "He'll be there that day or he'll never fight in the Garden his whole career."
Interesting.
So he strapped it on and went. He got knocked out in the second.
Yeah, I mean, look, how do you not? You got to take a shot.
He took a shot.
Yeah.
And he got knocked out quickly.
Yeah, it was brutal.
Did he have
He survived a round. Second round knockout, right?
Yeah.
I don't care if you get knocked out in 1 second. Like the story is still like, he fought Joe Louis. Like,
it's amazing.
all you need is to get in the ring and you're good.
Amazing the Jews boxed.
Well, he was from the less Jewish side of the family.
No, hold on. This is an episode of famous last quotes in show business. Jews boxed.
It just feels like an oxymoron.
Yeah, you wouldn't think of it, right? Because of
Yeah.
poverty and stuff. I guess Jews were poor in the 20s.
Of course,
sure.
Yeah.
Did you guys see the Shandling documentary yet?
No.
I'm in the middle of it. It's amazing.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, I'm in the middle of it.
Unbelievable. I'm
Incredible.
obsessed.
It's amazing.
Is it on HBO
Yeah,
Go and
both
stuff?
it's 4 hours.
We watched
but-
a boxing match with him once at his house.
Oh,
Did you?
wow.
Really?
Yeah, so you're talking of his boxing. We did. We didn't know him well, but we were at his house twice and played ball with him once and watched a boxing match. At his
Yeah.
house. It was amazing.
Pretty zen guy, pretty like in tune.
Would you have a heart attack? Was it a heart attack?
A heart attack or something.
4-hour documentary?
Yeah.
Wow, I didn't know.
I'm
it.
You
all-
don't
Yeah,
think he's one of the
Apatow did
greatest ever?
He's
do you?
hilarious. I wouldn't put him in the same category as Pryor or Carlin, unless it's my taste. But I think he was a great comedian, and I loved him.
For you, just in the rung right under those guys? Like, what's your top, like, obviously, we could do our top 5 wrestlers, but, like, what's your, like, what's your Mount Rushmore, like, the 5 comedians?
Pryor, Carlin,
Cosby?
Robert Klein, Woody Allen, and I would have to think Cosby's up there, but I never loved him. He never, even though I recognize he's great, I never. It's like
I was the same way.
I just never.
You got one more spot.
Yeah,
I
one
like
more
him
spot.
Mark Norman?
I like him better now.
Mark Norman's in there.
Could it be?
Yes.
He could be your 5th guy?
Yes, he's in my top 3 comedians in this room.
I would say Kinnison. I wouldn't put
Rick
him
Crom? Is Rick Crom in the 5th spot?
Dude, Rick Crom did one of my favorite things ever. The fucking OJ song, "I Need My OJ." It was during the trial. Was fucking brilliant. I went it's like he literally put on a cassette for me in like 1995. I'm like, this is genius.
Yeah, no, he was amazing.
But Shandling, if you take Shandling, he was great at stand-up, maybe not in your all-time pantheon,
That's
but he
great.
could do the hosting. He could get into the chair and do the great hosting job.
Yep.
And then he made the transition to starring in one of the great...
hit by a car. His brother died when he was like 10, and he was like super close with his brother. His brother just died, and no one in his family talked about it, and there was no grieving, and he just kind of internalized it. And
Wow.
He got hit by a car, and he said he went into a coma, and he heard a voice say, "Remember when we put you in Gary Shandling's body? Do you want to stay?" And he said yes, and he woke up. So he had no idea who he was, and it was all tormented. It was.
I actually only met him once. Sarah Silverman introduced me to him outside the Comedy Cellar many, many years ago, and I loved him because I remember his when Joan Rivers guest hosted the Tonight Show. That's how long ago it was. He was like one of the comedian on, and I never knew him though.
Speaking of great shows, Billions is on Showtime.
Oh, yes, it is.
Season 3. It started last Sunday, so it's on every Sunday at 10 p.m. on Showtime. And if you haven't seen the show, you should go back and binge all the episodes because it really is. It's a really fun watch.
You know, I might put Dave Attell as the 5th favorite.
Wow.
Because you work with somebody, sometimes you don't recognize how great they are.
Right.
Patrice was another great.
Yeah.
But Attell is a comic genius. He's more unique than all those guys I mentioned before. He's probably the most unique comic I've ever watched.
For me, I agree with all those guys. I'll tell you the underdog comic that I would say, which if you ask like Jon Stewart, he would say the best stand-up set, he said it in Vanity Fair, best stand-up set he ever saw was like in 1992, Alan Havey. Havey between like 90 and 94 was on the highest imaginable level.
Yeah, I guess he was.
He's got some great jokes.
He certainly does. Yeah, he still comes. I saw him at the cellar the other night just eating soup. Hey, buddy.
What's going on, man? How are you?
How are you?
Hey, baby.
Good to see you.
Slim Pen looks taller.
Maybe I am.
Yeah,
I've been growing a little bit.
Oh, good.
We're not
Congrats, man.
sure that humans stop growing at 20. We're not positive.
Well, I don't think that's. I haven't seen any statistics
No,
that would
no.
say that concretely.
Many do. Many do.
Your hair looks good too, man.
Thank you.
You look really
Thank
good.
you. Thank you.
A lot younger. You must. At what point did you realize, like, wow, the weight's really going to stay off?
Well, it's been 3 years. 2 years is the magic time. Most people start putting on the weight at 2 years.
Oh, they do.
So if you make 2 years, your statistics change tremendously.
I bet that's going to kind of stay
It's
off.
kind of like if you make 65, you're probably going to make 85. It's like one of those statistics.
Have you gotten up at all? I have those things where I'll have a shitty couple of weeks, but then I go back.
Sure,
like
sure.
You do a little bit, right?
Yeah, sure. You go. I probably got it's probably bigger than it should be. I probably got a 20-pound window that I go up and down.
Up and down.
But then again, I'm 230, so that's not that high a percentage, less than 10%.
I want to ask you a question too, because I didn't know Christopher Hitchens, and I really wish I had met him because his discussions on speech and on what should be allowed were always so good. You could go on YouTube and watch. Like he gave one in Toronto that I thought was really brilliant. What would he? I mean, again, from what you knew about him, all this stuff with people getting fired for what they're saying at work, and all these things about where a tweet is taken. What do you think his take on that would be? From what
Hitch
you know.
was a pretty hardcore free speech absolutist, and it's a very tricky situation because we now have found a way for the government to control speech within the workplace, which we did by a very circuitous route. We didn't have the government actually come in and police. We turned people there into police by doing civil suits. I would not, because Christopher Hitchens was the best at speaking and thinking of anybody I've ever been in a room with, present company excluded.
Obviously, yes. Appreciate that.
We accept that. Yeah.
I would never, ever, ever presume to speak for Hitch.
I'm just
certainly what he was saying about freedom of speech. You have to be very careful because it's complicated, because the stuff done on Twitter is, of course, not freedom of speech because you're allowed to. It goes both ways.
Yeah.
So if someone says something on Twitter that everybody hates and they jump on him and beat him up and bully him, that's kind of okay.
Sure,
That's
it is
under
okay.
freedom of speech.
What about when people like we've been talking about the colleges and stuff that will throw out like the frat guys for getting caught on video saying N-bombs or whatever, or like the professor who was talking about Barbara Bush and they were trying to fire her. Like, does that for you fall under free speech, or because there's a university code of conduct?
It's really tricky because it depends if it's a public or private university. If it's a public university, I think people have to be able to say anything. But I also believe that you should be able to fire anybody for anything. So it becomes very, very tricky. Thomas Jefferson, the answer to bad speech is more speech. I think I still have to come back to. Although these are times that are so frightening because the bullies and the prudes are so powerful now.
Yeah.
And it's very, very hard. I always thought that sticking up for free speech would be sticking up for people who were saying things that were offensive. Now free speech seems to be sticking up for people who are saying things that are very anodyne, people that want there to be very little speech. Sam Harris has talked a lot about this when someone's speaking at a university. I went to a very, very bad high school in a poor town in Western Massachusetts, but I was a half an hour from the 5-college area, UMass, Hampshire, Amherst College, all up there. And I used to, as soon as I got my driver's license and as I was being thrown out of high school, I would drive, although I never went to college, I would drive to the colleges to see lectures and see speeches. And one of the things...
You just drop in on them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of the things that I loved was hearing people speak that I did not agree with. And especially if they spoke well and eloquently and challenged me. And this is odd for me to say because I didn't go to college, but when I think, and those of us who didn't go to college fantasize about how great it would have been, the idea of being confronted daily and just beaten with ideas that I disagreed with strongly is a beautiful thing.
But that's kind of dead, though. That desire is dead.
Oh, yeah.
People don't have that anymore.
I seek that out still. I read stuff by the Westboro Baptist Church.
Good people.
I read. I want to see what the nuts have to say.
Now,
because in my life, the nuts have often changed my mind and taught me things.
How do you go from a guy? Because it sounds like you didn't like high school.
No.
So when you're a guy in high school,
and also on top of that, high school didn't like me.
Right.
It was mutual.
You graduated.
I got out.
Okay.
It was actually a plea bargain. I tested very, very well on my SATs, very well. So as soon as the SAT test came in, I went to my principal and I said, "Listen, here's how it's going to go. I'm not coming to school anymore. And at the end of the year, you will give me a diploma with all D's, but you'll give me a diploma because that's important to my mom and dad. But I don't ever want to come into this building again." And I said, "And if you don't give me a diploma, I'm rather well-spoken. I'll go in front of the school board and I will speak about how you personally let down the most gifted student Greenfield High School has ever seen."
Wow.
And he said, "It sounds like you're threatening me." And I said, "I absolutely am. There'll be big trouble for you if I don't graduate."
And you're 18 at this point. 17, 18?
17, yeah.
Wow.
And I made that negotiation, and I said to my parents, I said, I will graduate, and now I'm going to be driving up to Amherst and sitting in on classes up there, and I'm going to be writing, hanging out, practicing, doing stuff like that, but I'm not going to go to school again. And at the end of my school year, he handed me the diploma, bottom of my class.
All these.
And I graduated.
What did you want to do, though, at that point? Like, you're going to go to college and just watch these speeches?
Well, how did you find a value for education? Because most people who end up leaving high school to some degree are just, they don't want more education. They're not looking to sit in on lectures.
Well, I'm kind of seeing this with my son. My son is just turning 12, and I have always tried to run back. I was a hippie. I'm a little bit young to be a hippie, but I was. I got out of school in '73, and I was in the middle of this hippie thing where my high school was open campus, open study, open everything, and there was no information. And I've always run the clock back and said, what if I'd gone to a hard school? What if someone had said to me, "Okay, you've been coasting through. You're doing fine. No one gives a fuck. Now you're going to start next week at the hardest school you can possibly. And by the way, if you study all day, all the time, and pay attention, make notes, you probably still won't pass."
Yeah.
That's how hard it's going to be. I want to run that experiment. My son, who had some of the same problems in public school, we put him into a stupid, crazy, hard school, and he's much happier.
Why is it the focus that it makes him focus on something?
He diagrams sentences and does hard mathematics and does Latin roots and all of that stuff. And he has a certain pride. He comes home from school every day and goes, "Wow, am I learning more than you ever knew?"
But the teachers have to care, though, right? Like the teachers have to care enough to actually be sitting there giving you the hard work.
We may be, it's funny. You read the New York Times, and in the first section, there's always an article about how colleges are falling apart and they're too expensive and student loans and all of this. And then in the business section, there's this massive online collective learning stuff and colleges are moving there. You can get a degree. And I always say to myself, aren't the two sides talking to each other? Because it looks like they've got a problem in section 1 and the solution in section 5, and neither of them know it. I'm not sure that school is even going to be valid in 10 years.
Maybe not. No.
I mean, people, when I was a child, I'd get the Frank Zappa record, and the Frank Zappa record would say, "Do not listen to this song until you've read Franz Kafka's In the Penal Colony." And I would jump on my bike, and I would go down to the library, and I would look up Kafka, and I would read the whole thing, and then I would listen to something else, and Frank Zappa also mentioned Lenny Bruce. So I got to go and find Lenny Bruce records, and I got to listen to Carnegie Hall and memorize that and do all that and Lenny Bruce. And I'm so envious of my son and my daughter who one word pops up and they type it in and know everything.
Yeah.
I can't imagine what it would have been like to be 12 years old and be able to type in Kafka, Lenny Bruce,
Just look up whatever you want and watch it.
It's at your disposal.
Yeah.
And if that can be coupled with a more slow motion reading, which is what we've got to learn. The temptation is you say, Kafka, I'll watch a 4-minute YouTube video of a guy talking about Kafka. If we can change that to, I'm going to read all the short stories, I think education could be enormous that way.
Yeah.
But it's hard to. It's hard when you see that list of Google hits to say, I'm not going to watch the 4-minute YouTube. I'm going to actually go and watch and read, for 10 hours in this book. It's hard to do that.
Well, it's like you're getting the Cliff Notes and the regular book, and which one do you want?
Yeah, exactly.
Which one? Like, it's up to you. Which one?
I'd love to say the regular book, but it's a blatant lie. I would love the Cliff Notes.
Exactly.
I got other things to do.
I think the only disadvantage to having that at this age is like they lose these tactile experience. There's a certain thing you lose by always being able just to get it on a screen in front of you.
I have always been someone who really liked reading, and that all the people I knew that liked reading hated me for it, because when I finished a book, this is in the days before Kindle, when I finished a book, I put it down wherever I was. Wherever I finished reading, I drop it down. Friend's house, Starbucks, hotel, never carried it. So I don't have anything on my bookshelves. I threw everything away. Moby Dick is my favorite book. I used to make people sick because I'd read it once a year. I'd go in, I'd buy a $8 paperback. I would rip off the first third, which fit into my back pocket, throw away the back 2/3, and I would rip off pages as I read them, so I'd have less to carry, throw them away. And then when I got near the end of that first third, I'd go in and buy another copy, rip out the middle third, throw away the rest, and carry them with me. I used to, if I had a paperback.
That's watching Mental Illness in action. That's really great.
If I had a fat paperback, I would always rip off pages as I read them. Fuck it, I'm not carrying this. So now that I have it electronically, I have all these books, and I can read through and go through and highlight and make notes, and I just love it. But I had a huge vinyl collection, had a huge collection of music, and was so thrilled when it all moved to my computer. I hear everybody talking about how I love the feel of vinyl and the smell of vinyl, and I love having a book in my hand. I hate all of that.
I don't mind it.
Nothing. I like having everything right here in my pocket.
Are you a little OCD?
I don't know.
I'm wondering if the pages thing was a little like just like I have my moments too, but when you're tearing the pages,
right,
it's almost like completed, finished.
And then when you want to read it again, you buy it again.
Yeah, why not? I mean, you don't get attached to things, obviously. Meaning like the physical books you weren't attached to.
I don't. If I didn't have a family, which is the hugest if possible, I would live in hotel rooms.
You would, yeah.
Yeah. When there was a time between Broadway and On the Road where I did not have a place to live. If I had a few days off, I'd fly in and see a friend. Do something like that. I have no.
Where do you get your mail sent?
I've been. Who gets mail anymore?
I guess that's true.
I've been carny trash. Since I was 18. I lived for whatever it was, a year and a half. I guess what you would call homeless. So that gives you the wrong image. I didn't have any place I lived. I hitchhiked. Lived in the streets, juggled. Did jokes, and I'm very happy not living anywhere.
You are, okay. So what is the one? There's got to be something you look at and go like, I just love this piece of memorabilia. What is something that you have that you're like, that is something I would take everywhere if I could?
I have artwork around the house that I like. There's an artist, Tony Fitzpatrick, that I love. And,
but you don't have like stuff
Martin
from your
Mull.
career.
Oh no, you can't. Very hard to find a picture of me in our house.
Wow.
As a matter of fact, my wife and I argue. She'll have a Penn and Teller picture that actually one picture is going up. There's a picture of me that was done for GQ or Vanity Fair in the 90s. It was a article on unlikely best friends, and they did a photo shoot with me and Lou Reed.
Oh.
And after Lou died, although it could be seen as a publicity picture because it did appear in a magazine, I just said, I'm okay having a picture of me and Lou up.
You should have one of yourself painted with your wife like Tony Montana did. Yeah. You're in a giant put in the living room. Yeah. But we have an artist coming in. You know that the second half of you're here till 11, but from 10:30 to 11 we have an artist coming in as well, a painter.
Really?
Yes.
Who's that?
His name is Paul. He's a Paul Stanley.
Oh, yes.
He's a painter.
Yes, of course.
He also did. He's done some music.
He's an artist. To
Yeah.
me. I like his
He also
artwork.
did his finger painting on his face. Is that right?
That's right.
That's right. That's probably where it began.
That's what he's most known for.
If I was in your position, I feel like I'd have all my old props from the stage. I'd have
Sure. No, but see,
the bullet, the night that the bullet trick went great. I'd have that special bullet.
This is why what I'm saying is essentially a lie.
I see.
Because we have an office and we have people that are there, and the Penn and Teller memorabilia is very well curated. It's just that my house is a separate place.
Right.
It's like when I would say to friends of mine, when I go on the road, all I carry with me is, my computer and a small, small bag. And they'd say, yes, and an 18-wheel truck that's showing up backstage instead of your dressing room. Let's not forget that.
Yeah.
So that there is a central lie to that. I mean, someone else would say, oh, yeah, well, I do have pictures of my career in my home because I don't have 5 people working on curating it.
Yeah.
Are you a minimalist, I guess? Like some people that just don't mind not having stuff around?
I don't mind. I would live in a fairly, if you go into my office, it's a huge desk with nothing on it. I don't have any sort of clutter at all. I'm not a cluttery guy. That's why computers are so great for me.
When you see like a picture of Trump's office where he's just got piles of stuff everywhere, like the New York office
that is so far down on the list of things that would upset me when I see it. I mean, really, we're down to like in the 700s. Oh, by the way, he has a messy desk. And by the way, hair and hygiene are only in the 200s. Up to the top.
Come on, the dandruff joke with the French president was pretty good.
Do you see him wipe the French president's dandruff off his shoulder?
Here's the scary thing is that are we going to be addicted to this much entertainment in our politics?
It's like...
is it going to be Kanye next? Because it's just so much goddamn
Because
fun.
we realize that not much changes because there's such checks and balances, so it's kind of fun to watch the wheels come off.
There was a time when this French story, the French dandruff story, that would be good for 3 years. Yeah. Right, that would be the story for a president's run. It would always go back to the one day that he brushed the dandruff off. That's just Wednesday.
Yeah,
now that's just Wednesday.
Wednesday morning.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
It's incredible. Because I know Trump fairly well. This whole thing becomes completely surreal. To have. The New York Times publishes a list of people the President of the United States of America hates. They publish that list. First of all, Nixon denied having an enemies list.
Right.
We now have a president that brags on it. Yes, I have it. These are the people I hate. And I look in the New York Times, the paper of record, as they say, about the president of the United States of America and people he does not like. And the first shocking thing is that a magician is on that list. And the second shocking thing is it's me.
Wow. So the failing New York Times put your name in that list?
The New York Times put my name.
Well, probably because you said that stuff about him. He's probably like, he holds it, he takes it personal.
As a matter of fact, it was right in this room.
Yes, it was.
It was right in this room where I first heard the first aggressive, angry tweet he said about me. And so my reaction, when people say, what did you think? What did you think about when you first heard about Trump writing that tweet about you? I say, you don't have to ask me. It's documented. Yeah. There was a camera on my face.
That's the real paper of record.
When it was read aloud. Opie read that to me. It was his voice that I first heard that in, his slightly incredulous voice. As he sits there and goes, oh, maybe there is a God. He just handed me a hateful tweet from a major candidate from a person who's sitting across from me. This is a good day.
Yeah. I wonder why did he write the tweet? Was it, I guess you had said
it's very simple. I went on Lawrence O'Donnell, my friend, Lawrence O'Donnell, MSNBC. He asked me if I was supporting Trump. And I said what I will still say now. I liked working with him. I liked doing Celebrity Apprentice with him. I think he's a fabulous reality show star because of the no filter, capricious, unpredictable. If you did Celebrity Apprentice with Bill Gates, he just made every decision smart, would last like 5 minutes.
Fun, yeah.
Who cares? You want a nut. and he's fabulous at that.
Yeah.
You know, but there's a lot of people that I like at their jobs that I wouldn't necessarily want to be president. And I said that. I said I think the very things that make him good on the show I worked with him on would make him very bad there. And I also added that there's nobody I respect more in the world than Teller, and I would not support him for president. Now, that is as kind and gracious as I could possibly be
Yeah, without
to Trump.
Yeah.
And Trump went apeshit and said, which I think is really, really funny, he said Penn Jillette was unknown and had no career before he was on Celebrity Apprentice. What is the name of the show, you stupid motherfucker? It has a word in there that you're denying.
So you weren't just on the regular Apprentice show.
No.
It was the Celebrity Apprentice.
Right.
Oh.
But I will now add that the word celebrity in a show title is a very special thing because it means not celebrity. Because you don't say celebrity Beyonce.
No.
You don't say that. It's like the word science. It's only put in things that aren't science. You say computer science, social science. You don't say physics science, chemistry science. You only say it when it's not true.
Right. So
Celebrity Apprentice maybe is right, but and I went on about this. It was so strange, and I was in New York. I was on Broadway then. Why would a guy that's unknown be on? Oh, never mind.
Yeah, there's a lot of holes in his theory. A lot of holes.
There are.
I was on Broadway, and a serious, we now know, very serious candidate for President of the United States of America was writing tweets about me. And of course, this is one of those hard things to talk about because, so what? It's me. But can you imagine having the President of the United States have a list of people he doesn't like and being on it?
You know, yeah, that's got. But especially when you know that his list must be odd if you just saying something puts you on his list.
Yes, exactly. But I mean, at one point, by their the failing New York Times, by their metric, which was how many angry tweets he had done, I was number 3 on the list.
Wow.
It was like Hillary Clinton, right? It was Hillary Clinton. It was some reporter at the New York Times, and me on the list.
You're above Kim Jong-un.
Yeah. I actually was.
And this is before this. This is when there was still a threat of nuclear war in the air.
Yeah.
You're above that guy. Yeah.
That's got to feel kind of good,
It's just
though.
so strange.
It's strange, but it's like you know that the reason it's for isn't something
real.
Something unpatriotic. The reason is just you said stuff he didn't like.
Right. And I want to make this very clear because the rumors are getting out there. I do not have access to nuclear weapons.
You don't?
I do not.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I do not.
Okay.
I am completely respecting nuclear disarmament.
You are, yes.
Just so you know. Penn Jillette is not a nuclear power.
Isn't it shocking to see what's going on, though, with the North and the South actually meeting?
Yes. Except it's one of those things that I know nothing about.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, nothing about. You try so hard to understand what's going on. And I think maybe some people do know, but I certainly don't.
I do. They don't like each other. That's the beginning and end of my knowledge.
Yeah.
But, we found out that if you were going to give a World Peace Prize, it should probably go to Oppenheimer and the guy that worked on the nuclear bomb, because it does seem like that kind of sort of worked. I mean, we have, even right now, we have less war than we've ever had in history. Fewer people are dying. We've now reached a really weird landmark, really weird, which is about, I mean, I'm rounding off all these numbers, but about 50 million people die a day in the world. Okay. And,
50, is you sure it's 50 million a day?
A year.
Okay.
Die a year. 50 million die a year.
Sounded like a lot.
I know,
Yes,
I was just wrong. 50 million die a year. And out of that 50 million, it's about 700,000 are killed by other people. Terrorism, war, murder of all kinds.
Intentionally killed, not like accidentally. Yeah.
700,000, which is the lowest percentage it's ever been in history. But we just crossed over because the number of people killed at their own hand is now around 800,000.
Wow.
So when you're talking about gun control in the USA, the most likely person to shoot you is you.
This is suicide.
Yeah, most likely person, and especially guys like us. You know, if you're talking about
Well hung.
middle-aged white guys.
Oh, okay.
What'd you say?
Well hung.
But you know, I'm from a lower middle class town. I'm 63 years old. I did not go to college. My most likely way to die right now is eating a gun.
I've had weird thoughts and crazy thoughts and desires and negative stuff. Have you ever gotten that? Have you ever gone down that road where you fall into you don't seem like the depressive type, but
no, I've had intense sadness when my parents died, but I understand that's very different than depression, and it would be disrespectful to call that depression for those who've really struggled with it. I don't. You know, I have sadness and ups and downs and what you're supposed to have, but I've never fallen into. You know, I'm good friends with Stephen Fry.
Who's Stephen Fry? I know his name.
Stephen Fry is a great writer in England. And actor also, and he's written a lot about depression and made me think that I didn't want to use like the word like using OCD. I don't want to throw clinical terms around too easily because I just don't understand them.
Yeah, not necessarily diagnosed, but like I see I do little things. And I'm like, that's not normal. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, that kind of falls into that world.
I don't think with you, Jim, we have to wait for a diagnosis.
Probably not. No.
Yeah, you can.
I think speaking on behalf of the American Psychiatric Society, we're okay with you grabbing any title you want.
Yeah, there's something happening.
Yeah, whatever you want, just pick one. You can have it. You know, you want paranoid, you want schizophrenic, you want depressive, you want bipolar. Have it, Jim.
If you want them all, you can have them.
Bipolar scares me. That's a scary one.
Bipolar's bad.
Ooh, fuck, man.
Yeah. Bipolar, yeah.
That's a scary one.
And whatever real narcissism is, you know, we throw that term around.
Yeah, but I trust me, I've seen it in my life. I mean, we all have a touch of it. Any fucking comedian or actor, there's a little bit of notice me. But
a little bit,
perhaps a lot.
A little bit.
But I mean, I've real narcissism to the point of being obsessively convinced that everyone's out to get you, or that you're always right. Like I've seen it on
paranoia.
That level. It's like, yeah, but it's extreme narcissism.
Yeah, but paranoia is always coupled with grandiose thoughts. You know,
absolutely.
Teller's always fond of when someone goes, "Hey, I'm paranoid. I'm going to miss the train," and Teller will go, "Because you're king of trains." Because that part has to come.
Yeah, of course.
King of trains.
I wanted to talk to you about a guy. I think actually, Jim, you might not have been in the day that he came in.
I probably listened.
Good. I'm glad.
Big fan.
I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but he was in the documentary Dealt. He's the blind card magician.
Yeah.
And he's like, I mean, the guy's amazing.
Richard Turner.
Richard Turner, yeah. He came in and he's just spent years upon years shuffling, and he was on your show.
He was on our show, fool us, and of course he fooled us. I mean,
yeah.
I hope so, because he actually can see, so he knows what he's doing. We have Paul Stanley coming in, so you don't mind sharing your time with Paul Stanley?
I don't, but I'll also
we want you
leave.
to stay. We want you to stay.
I'll also leave. But yeah, he's really good.
Yeah.
And he even has to have the cards made special for him because their standards are not up to his standards.
Right. Paul
Sir.
Stanley,
Hi, Paul.
welcome.
Hey.
Welcome. Hey, how are you?
Look at you without.
How's it going?
The big ponytail.
You know Penn? Yes.
Absolutely.
How you doing?
Sit down. We're on the air.
Yeah.
Welcome to the
show is going on.
It's great to be here.
Yes.
Yeah, we were talking about art before you came in. Penn's a big fan of art, so we're very happy to talk about your art.
Let's talk about your art.
I loved.
Just bring that into a microphone.
I know.
Small animals. Is that the end of that sentence?
Tim's Vermeer.
Oh, thank you. Thanks so much. Thanks.
Just I've recommended that to so many people.
Oh, thank you.
What an amazing piece.
Thank you. And Tim has not stopped. He's now done the View of Delft over in Delft. He's done a lot of Caravaggio's.
Yeah.
They're finding all sorts of stuff with this technology. And Tim just continues. Art is ruining his life.
It's amazing. I mean, but when you realize you can make those paintings, I mean, I don't know. I feel like if I had figured out that I could do that, I would probably just keep doing it.
I've done it, but it got boring. I did it for a couple of times. And I was just finished with it.
Yeah. Painted enough for mirrors. You're done with it. Yeah. Except it ruins him. Because
it seems like it becomes an obsession.
Yeah, and his back goes and constant headaches and his eyes, and he's just sitting there, you know, doing these little tiny things in a small room alone. And I say to him, you know, Tim, you you're rich and stuff.
Yeah.
You could go outside.
I can liken it probably to a much higher form of what people get obsessed with video games. You just have to play it one more time.
Just one more time.
And
I just want to do the View of Delft.
Right.
Yeah.
And the
one more
lesson.
painting. I'll do one more
and the
then...
pearl earring.
Right.
And then I'm done.
But it's never enough, because then if you get what you think you want, then you have to start over and do it again. It's
The
never
hedonistic
enough.
treadmill. The hedonistic treadmill.
Well, once you achieve one goal, it allows you to go on to the next goal. And I've certainly found that with painting is you're never there. You just continue to go on. And I started painting somewhat seriously, but more cathartically, like 18 years ago, and painted for myself. And some people saw pieces in the house, and that was really, the start for me. And it's been beyond lucrative. It's been incredibly gratifying. So.
Do you have any of those originals? One thing that Paul did, that these original Kiss signs you made to promote shows, like probably in 1972.
Like posters?
Yeah,
posters that they were handmade signs.
Flyers that would go up around the
That
city.
you would
You
actually
did all those?
I did. Actually, the logo that you see on everything was done by me on my parents' coffee table with a ruler and a piece of what we called oak tag back then.
Oh, I love the word oak tag.
Yeah, and
if you start talking about manila envelopes, I'll go nuts. Mucilage. Can you use the word mucilage? Use the word mucilage. Mucilage, oak tag. Oh, fabulous.
Mucilage, the rubber on the end
the way
would get all caked up.
And the way it did that very sexual, I mean, maybe to me.
Yeah. Maybe, tell me about it. Yes. Oh my gosh.
And you like mucilage?
I don't know what it is. But
Shut up, Ben.
If Paul,
We're talking mucilage.
Paul likes it. I like it.
Yes, the color of it, and it kind of looked like snot, like dried snot.
Viscous.
Can we go to the smell of mimeograph now, or do you want to go there?
Yes, and let's see what else.
Oak tag. He said
I just think
tag.
it's amazing that you're designing this logo like on this piece of oak tag on your parents' coffee table or whatever, and this is a logo that would go on to be drawn on the back of every high school kid's notebook.
Well,
but also tattooed.
Tattoos,
yeah.
What was so interesting about it was that Ace came up with the basic design, but when I did it really by eye. And when we got our,
what do you mean he came up with the basic?
He came up with the idea of the
S's, angular.
Yes. But when I drafted it and outlined it and gave it the heft that it has, the S's aren't exactly parallel to each other because I did it by eye. And when we got signed to a label, their art department wanted to know if we wanted to have it redrafted. And I said, it got us this far.
Yeah.
And to this day, if you look at the logo, the two S's are not parallel to each other.
Did you know that, Jim?
Would you
Yes,
want
I did.
Parallel? I mean, in terms of design, wouldn't you want a little something there to catch? Do you feel it?
Well, what's interesting is when they are exactly perfect, I see it immediately. It looks wrong to me.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
It loses something.
Don't you have to change it too in Germany? They wouldn't let you have the logo as it is.
They wouldn't allow it for the longest time.
Oh, because they're still hung up in that Nazi thing?
Well,
get over it.
First of all, two of the guys in the band are Jewish, and secondly, God knows they have enough problems with what they call neo-Nazis.
Gene Simmons is Jewish?
My God.
Who would have thought?
Who would have thought? Who would have thought?
Do you have any of those original stuff? Do you still have them?
Yes. Yeah. We actually have a warehouse full of incredible pieces, and that's actually where I paint.
You go to your warehouse?
Yeah. It's a huge space, and it's conducive to me getting away from the house, and I'm there usually Monday to Friday for about 7 hours a day painting.
Wow.
Do you ever get halfway through a painting and just go like, this sucks, I can't finish it, I don't like it, I want to just stop?
Yeah, I tend to self-edit, but I also tend to want to make the separation between what I love and what somebody else may love. So if it's not my favorite, doesn't mean that someone else wouldn't love it. So there's only so much I'll edit myself because someone else looks at a piece that I didn't think much of and enjoys it immensely.
And you have a gallery, sorry Sam, a gallery, Wentworth Gallery at the mall at Short Hills. Tomorrow it's 5 to 8 p.m. tomorrow night if you want to go there. In Short Hills, the Short Hills Mall, yeah.
With so much Kiss stuff, like you got so much art and then there's also so much memorabilia and you've got so much stuff and Gene's got so much stuff. Have you guys ever thought about like putting together a museum or some kind of space for people to go to and just look at.
It's called Gene's house.
Well, there's mini golf right at the Rio Hotel, right where we are.
Kiss mini golf.
There's Kiss mini golf. Right?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, if you could do mini golf,
if mini golf is not art, I don't know what is.
But I feel like you could pull off some kind of like, Kiss Hall of Fame or Kiss Museum or whatever.
We did a museum exhibition that was in Japan.
Mm-hmm.
And there's talk about that being taken on the road. So maybe we could incorporate the bodies with that, the filleted dead bodies, and dress them in Kiss outfits.
Yeah,
Body worlds.
Yeah.
Do you ever get? I know Kiss has been your whole life. Do you ever is that why you paint? Because you want to just kind of I need something that's not this.
Well, I was about 18 years ago. I was getting divorced, and anybody who's gone through that knows it's tumultuous. And a friend of mine said, you should paint. And really, painting for me was just cathartic. It was more stream of consciousness. I had no sense of what I was going to do. I went out and bought canvas and paints and started painting, and did it totally for myself. But what was interesting is people came over to the house and saw pieces that I had hung up and said, who did that? So at some point, somebody cajoled me into showing pieces, and at this point, we're over around $4 million in sales of acquisitions.
Were you nervous the first time people come and see it? All right,
Totally.
they're going to think this is just the rock star doing this?
Well, yeah, of course there's skepticism that people have. And look, my success, my fame gets my foot in the door, but you can still slam the door pretty hard on my foot. So the first piece that I hung in my house is still unsigned because I was so really self-conscious about it that I didn't want anybody to see my signature on it and then judge it by that. So to this day, that kind of reminds me of where it all started.
Did you want an honest reaction? If people see it without you, if they see your name, they're not going to say, ugh, they're going to give you an honest.
Yeah, who did that piece of crap? But I really was putting pieces up for myself. If I liked it, it reflected, a certain point of what was going on in my life. So.
Do you ever miss I know you said in the Daily News recently that the groupie days were some of the best days of your life, and I can imagine that.
What's amazing is I did this long interview, and what did they focus in on? Was,
well, because you lived everyone's dream, and you admit it.
You know about magic groupies,
Yeah, trickies.
Yeah. There you
Are they
go.
called trickies?
No, they're not
Oh,
called
okay.
trickies. Made that up.
Because I've been called that.
They make part of your body disappear.
Yes, then reappear and disappear again. Yeah.
There's good. Now you see it, now you don't. Now you see it, now you don't.
So, but that was the first X amount of years of your career. Do you ever kind of look back in those days and go, "Fuck, that was fun, man. I really missed that."
It was amazing. It was tremendous fun, and part of what got me through the tougher times was saying one day I'm going to look back on this and look at it fondly. So traveling around in a station wagon, getting out, running into somebody's office, putting on makeup and going out and doing a show in a club. It was great. The good old days, I don't want to revisit them, but I'm real grateful. My life has been just amazing. Somebody said to me a couple of days ago, if you could tell your early self, your young self, a piece of advice, I'd say, be patient. It gets really good.
And you got to do it before the whole camera. Everyone's got a cell phone camera now, so everything you do now is being captured.
Yeah, it was very different back then.
That's maybe feature, not a bug.
But in with groupies and stuff like this, all these guys.
As I said, feature, not a bug. Maybe.
Yeah, maybe you're right. So you're saying that it would still be fun.
I'm saying it might be, and then you'd also have documentation on it.
Oh, you know what? All right,
the worst thing in the world.
Feature, not a bug.
Okay, fair enough. I hadn't looked at it like that. I looked at it like these guys wouldn't want this stuff captured.
Maybe.
I can see there's benefit to it.
Well, Gene had a Polaroid. He took a Polaroid picture of every girl he was with. I get
there
that.
you go.
It looks like a livestock album.
Yeah, there's some good ones and some horror shows.
Yes, he was an equal opportunity participant, but I don't
Quantity
know.
over quality has been a Gene Simmons thing, I guess.
I would say so.
Are you guys all getting along now? I mean, I know the band is as it is now.
Yeah.
But there's always the questions about Ace and Peter and you and Gene. Are you guys at least communicating? Because I was surprised to see Ace is doing a tour with Gene, and I know that you did something on Ace's album.
It's much nicer to be on good terms, and there's no denying what we started together. We did some amazing things, and I wouldn't be here without those guys. It doesn't mean I'm thankful to a lot of people in my life. It doesn't mean I want to go back and be with them, for any length of time. But much better that than animosity.
Yeah, I guess it's a little bit easier. And you were a graphic artist when you started. Did you not want to be a musician?
I always wanted to be a musician. Graphic artists or artists don't get standing ovations, and they don't get the same women either. So for me, being on stage was terrific because I'm not a ham. I'm the whole pig. So, but being able to go back to art without any pressure and really explore it, I just find that I define myself by all the challenges I take on doing theater or doing art. It's all it's terrific. I'm very lucky.
You had heart palpitations and left before a show, and I think Gene did. I don't know. Was that with Peter and Ace? I'm not sure who that was.
No, that was with the current band, which has been the band for about.
Oh, well, okay. I wasn't sure what tour that was on. Were you upset that they did that show without you, or did you want them to do it?
They learned a good lesson.
Oh, they did?
Yes.
What was the lesson?
The lesson is it's very hard to do this show without Paul.
So what made the decision for them to do that decision?
Well, literally, we were getting ready for the show. The show was sold out, and there would have been an audience that would be somewhere between irate and disappointed. So the idea was, let's go out on stage, tell them what's going on, and they can get their money back, or they can see, shambles. So they stayed, and I was very much appreciated after that.
Was it a bit of a train wreck without you? Because there's 25% or more missing.
Yeah, it was. From what I understand, it was pretty shambolic.
Did that make you happy?
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course. We all want to be loved.
Yeah, you never want the show to be just as good without you.
Oh, that would be horrible.
But the fact that people are like, it sucked, you're like, yeah, I guess it did.
I'm never going to run that gamble.
Yeah.
I show up because I don't want Teller to do a show without me.
How'd you like to have,
pretty well.
ladies and gentlemen, and Teller?
I will never run that experiment because if he's wicked good, I wouldn't have the confidence like you did to go, well, he's going to fall apart. I would go, might be wicked good.
To me, it was like, go do it.
See, different guy.
Oh, you encourage them to do it.
I as long as the audience knew ahead of time that they had, free license to leave and get a refund. Sure, you're here. Do you want to experience this? So I thought it was fine.
What's the longest I know we have to wrap up to this. Paul has a shorter period of time than we thought. You and Gene have been together since 1972 or whatever it is.
We've been together almost 50 years, 49 years.
What's the longest you've actually gone without talking?
A few months, sometimes you need to take a breather, or you may be a little annoyed at each other, but we're family. I don't understand some of the things he does, and I don't necessarily agree with some of the things, but we've been together and we've been there for each other, and I covet, and I respect that.
And again, Paul is the Wentworth Gallery, the mall at Short Hills. It's in Short Hills, New Jersey. 5 to 8 tomorrow to see his. I guess your gallery. You're selling paintings.
Yeah, there's some great acrylic plexiglass works and big canvases, and most of the pieces actually get sold before they leave my studio. I mean, it's pretty phenomenal, and I'm very grateful.
Do Kiss fans show up to those things? I mean, obviously they do, but do they show up with stuff and go, could you sign my comic book?
I won't say, it's the wrong venue for something like that. So no, I'm not there to sign memorabilia. And look, if people come to a gallery and have never been to one before because of intimidation, whether it was when I was doing Phantom of the Opera, I think it's a wonderful thing for people who have been intimidated and have this feeling that their opinion isn't valid unless it's educated, or they've been intimidated by critics who tell them that they know better than them. I just want people to enjoy what art has to offer, and theater. You don't need to be told what good food is. Good food you swallow, bad food you spit out. And it's not a matter of anybody else's taste except yours.
Did being in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame mean anything to you?
It didn't until I was in it. It's terrific. I think it's validation for people who've believed for 17 years we belonged in there. So I think it gives a certain closure, and the people who've championed us for so long felt vindicated. So I think it's a terrific thing. And the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame that's now going forward, it's not the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame of 5, 10, 15 years ago. A lot of those people have either died or been, asked to leave. So
Paul is smiling as he says that, by the way.
Yes, I am. Things have a tendency to work out as they should. And the people who are now being inducted are the people who belong in there, as opposed to a good old boys club who are, inducting bands who most of the public doesn't even know who they are. So yes, I feel great, very happy to